an American university in Vienna. And I have with me here Miles, who used to be a student at CEU, and she's from the Philippines. Right now, she lives in the Netherlands. And we will, after my presentation, which should take about 20-25 minutes, I'm planning to have a discussion with her about her experience at CEU. So what I prepared for you is a short overview of who we are, just to put us, for you to be able to put us on the map. So we are a fairly young university. We were founded in 1991. For those who come from Europe, this number, this year, this date already says something. It was in 1991 when the communist regime failed in the eastern side of Europe and in Russia. And it was an important time because it was also the beginning of independence and a democratic transition for many, many smaller and bigger countries. So the university has always been, the charter of the university comes from the US, so it has always been an American university, but it was always located in Europe, in several cities, actually. In the very beginning, it was in Poland, it was partly in Prague, then it moved to Budapest, I think in 1993, to Hungary. And we were there for quite a long time, almost like 29 years. And then in 2020, the university's main operations moved to Austria, to Vienna. And that's where we are right now. That's where our teaching is taking place. We specialize in the social sciences and the humanities mainly, exactly because at the time of the founding, the idea was to educate intellectuals or students who already had a first degree. So this university for many years was only for offering master's and PhD degrees, and to educate these people further to enable them to go back to their countries and help in the democratic transition of their societies. So that's why the main focus of the university is things like international relations, political science, philosophy, history, and so on, economics. We boast of world-class faculty and top researchers. The university needs, in this relatively short time, has reached a very reputable place among universities in Europe and worldwide. And we will touch upon this topic more later, but we really are a rare mix of nationalities and cultures. We have altogether about 1,500 students who hail from more than 100 countries, and there's no dominant nationality, which makes our diversity really unique. The faculty and the staff members also come from various places and represent different cultures. And we have a relatively large alumni community, very loyal alumni community of 18,000 people who live and work in 150 countries around the world. And this community is really important to us and helps helps us keep the mission of the university, which I'm going to talk a little bit about in this slide. So the mission of CEU from the beginning was to support open societies and democracy. Among the core values are diversity, human rights, good governance, and the rule of law. And in everything we do, we promote critical thinking, and we believe in research that touches upon several disciplines. So although CEU has a department for different academic disciplines, but the way teaching and research is organized is that There are no walls between these departments, and there are a lot of interdepartmental collaborations. And as you will see, our undergraduate degrees are also very multidisciplinary. A few words about our home right now, Vienna. I put a small map here, the kind of the map of Europe. You will see that Austria is a small country in the, if you like, in the middle of the continent. It also means that it's really easy to reach many other cities by plane or even by train. It's a very cosmopolitan city. For many years, I think for 10 years in a row, it was the most livable city in the world. Then it kind of fell a couple of places for 1 or 2 years during the pandemic. And now this year, we're back again to the most livable city in the world. It's very easy to get by with English. Vienna is known for its rich history and culture, and very, rich cultural life. What is also important from a student's point of view is that although it's a city of about 1.7 million people, public transportation is excellent, and it's really easy to get by in the city and reach everything relatively fast, and especially with a student discount, cheaply as well. And it's also a fortunate location because it's surrounded by nature. The Alps are at arm's length, and so many students are fond of hiking, and that's what they do in the weekends. But also Vienna has many large natural parks within the city, so those are excellent places to recharge or to take a break from your studies. Going further, oh yes, a couple more facts about Vienna. So I need to correct myself. It's 1.9 million, the population. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so there's lots to see in Vienna. Well, it's one of the most affordable university cities on the continent, and it is a popular destination for international and domestic students. And it's also a very green city, not only in the sense that it has parks and there's nature, but also that the city pays special attention to all kinds of solutions that serve a better living, especially in face of the climate change challenges. A couple of pictures for those of you who have never been to Vienna before. So on the right, in the top right corner, for example, you can see the Viennese Opera building. On the bottom right corner, that's a piece of typical Viennese dessert, the Apfelstrudel, which is a dessert that's filled with raisins and apple. I mentioned there, it also has a lot of castles and palaces, so it's really beautiful, very historic, and there's a lot of cultural things going on every day of the year. The campus itself, the CEU campus, right now we are on a temporary campus. We're building our own building that will have dormitory. We are going to have our own dormitory and all of our facilities in a few years. Right now, we are located in a modern building in the 10th district. It's called Favoriten. It's a very multicultural district. It's a 6-story building that has been adjusted to the needs of an academic institution. It has a huge library and a large auditorium and labs for students to use. And it's also very close to the building where we are housing our the first-year undergraduate students. Just to take a quick look at the campus, this is what the bottom left is a picture of the facade from the outside, and then the other pictures are from the inside of the building, including the hallways and a classroom and library and so on. The dormitory is not ours. CEU has contracted a provider that is in a very, very good location. It's very central, more central than the campus, actually. It's in District 5, really peaceful. It's very safe. It's an area that has everything within walking distance that students will need. And it's also a 20-minute tram ride from the CEU campus. So it's really easy to get to CEU from the dormitory. You just hop on a tram in front of the dorm and get off in front of the university. So there is a residence assistant on site who can help you with everyday problems and issues and questions. Like I said, it's mandatory for freshmen, especially because we would like to take off the responsibility of having to deal with an owner, a landlord, and paying the bills. So in the first year, while you are adjusting to moving to a new country and a new city and learning maybe a little bit of German, and also figuring out the university system, you can stay in a place where you are together with the other undergraduate students. It's a CEU contracted shared living space. These are studio apartments equipped with everything that you need. You can also make your meals there. So there are equipped kitchens, and there's a gym, and there's a balcony. Actually, even a large terrace was built recently, a rooftop terrace. So to make the transition to CEU easy for students. And a couple of pictures of the dorm. You can see top left corner is a picture of one of the balconies. The terrace, the rooftop terrace, is a bigger space that I don't have a picture right here, but you can also see picture of the rooms and the study spaces and the kitchen. So yeah, it's very, very decent, really comfortable. And you don't need to worry about paying bills or, whether the internet is working, or, there's even cleaning in the dorm. A couple of words about what someone should expect if they decide to come to CEU, what learning looks like. So we specialize, so to speak, in small learning communities, and we have very small class sizes, a very low student to faculty ratio. 7:1 is exceptionally low, and this means that students get a lot of attention and mentorship and guidance from their professors. There are also very strong student services. Classes are seminar style, mostly, some lectures as well, but mostly seminar style that are based on discussion, and personal supervision can be expected for your thesis, your capstone project, your research, and even your career aspirations. What is true we have 3 undergraduate degrees, but what's something that is true for all 3 of them is that they are all 3 of them are accredited in the US and Austria. If someone is doing the standard 4-year BA, it's the American style 4-year bachelor's degree. If someone insists on doing would like to do shorter studies, then they can do 3 years, but that's only accredited in Austria, not in the US. Everything is in English. CEU is an English language university. And multidisciplinarity is something that's common in all 3 degrees and in most of the programs. And just to give you an idea of what the ratio of graduate versus undergraduate students is. So I said at the beginning that the total enrollment at the university, including master's and PhD students, MBA students, is around 1,400, maybe 500 by now students. And out of this, 120 at the moment are in the undergraduate programs. We are getting another class in September, so this will raise to around 200 this year. These are the 3 programs we offer. Each has a longer name, and you see that already. You can tell from the name of the program that it's a multidisciplinary program, each of them. So we have a long name for each of them and a short one. So I'm going to call them by the short one for ease of communication. So the first one is called BA in Culture, Politics, and Society, or CPS. We offer a BA in Philosophy, Politics, and Economics, a PPE. This might sound more familiar to you because this is a brand name. So this program exists at many other universities. And our newest edition, the BA in Quantitative Social Sciences, or the QSS. At the bottom of the slide, you can see some of the rankings that we have achieved this year, and QS World University rankings. We're going up year after year, specifically in politics, economics, international studies, philosophy, social policy, history, sociology. And then we also are ranked in the ARWU Shanghai ranking, but the ranking from there in economics is from last year because the new one hasn't come out yet. So a couple of words about each program. I have 2 slides to show you give you an overview of the program and then show you what you can study there. So the CPS program is CEU's own design. This program is meant for the generation, your generation, that came of age after the digital revolution. It is probably the closest to what you would call a liberal arts curriculum, in that students start with a strong or a broad core curriculum, but don't have to decide what disciplines they are going to major in until the end of the second year. So this means that while in the beginning you will be taking mandatory courses, but at the same time you can also explore the curriculum and try out different things, and you have time until the end of the second year to make up your mind about what you would like to specialize in. There are 12 possible study areas, and this program also has a very strong multimedia component, exactly because we think that no matter in what job or what industry you end up working, today, to be an effective worker or an effective professional, people need to be well versed in all forms of multimedia. So they need to be able to produce presentations, different memos, maybe even visuals for these things to convey the knowledge and the information that they would like to convey. We also have something called a visual studies platform that teaches students how to make a documentary or how to produce a podcast, for example. And the other specialty of the CPS program is that every spring term, which is a shorter 6-week term from, I think, the middle of April until the end of May, it's an experiential learning module for the CPS students, which means that they can choose from 3 tracks here. They can either embark on a research project. There is a lot of CEU is a research university, so there's a lot of research going on in different research groups and departments and other constellations. So they can join one of those, or they can choose to do an internship, so leave the campus and find a company or an institution where they would where they can try themselves out and apply the knowledge they learned in the world of work. And the third one is some kind of a community engagement project, something that involves giving back to the community or doing something that will improve the life of the community that you live in or that you come from. I mentioned the study areas. So these are, I think there are 12 different areas that you can choose from. And these are all things that you will be able to major in. Yeah, you can do one major or a major and a minor or a double major. So it's pretty broad. It's from international relations to human rights to environmental science, political science, nationalism studies, sociology, medieval studies, gender studies. It's really, really broad. So it's very popular among students. The PPE, let me just quickly look at the Q&A box. Okay, to see the questions. So I'm going to answer these live. Okay, so two of the questions are about, or one is about tuition and living expenses. The other one is then about the dormitory, on-campus jobs is the third one, and then SAT scores. Okay, I'll try to address these, so please pay attention. The coming slides, I will try to address these. All right, so how do I, sorry, I don't know how to make this disappear. Just 1 second. I can't see what I'm talking about.
Is there what happened?
I am seeing the
blocking?
Q&A. I am, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. And okay, I just didn't know how to get rid of the Q&A, which was covering up my slide. But no worries, now it's working and I'm going back to the sharing. Okay, sorry for this. Okay, so the PPE, I mentioned that this is a brand, it's a brand name. It was inspired by Oxford's PPE degree, which was established 100 years ago in Oxford in the UK. It's a multidisciplinary program that gives a broad foundation in philosophy, politics, and economics. So this is pretty much what you see is what you get. And then at the end of the first year, students need to pick 2 out of the 3 disciplines. So they could stay, for example, with politics and economics and study those for the middle 2 years, for year 2 and 3. And then at the end of the 3rd year, they also need to make another choice to either keep both or to drop one and stay with one. So here you also have the possibility of double majoring or just picking one major. So the majors are philosophy, politics, and economics in the PPE program. But starting from year 2, students are able to explore the curriculum a little bit and dive into other parts or disciplines of the other 2 programs, and they can take on a course on data science or learn programming in Python language or study about history or nationalism studies. So this again offers a breadth through these elective subjects. And finally, the quantitative social sciences or QSS degree is again our design. It was designed for students who are interested in who are good at math or good at computer science, good at physics, so good at quantitative subjects, but they don't necessarily want to study that at university. They would instead like to use these things and use these skills and maybe improve these skills to be able to tackle major issues that we have in our society these days. So it's a 50% strong foundation in social sciences and 50% training in data analysis and programming. There are 5 majors in the QSS program. So again, the first year is mandatory courses, and after the first year, students can pick or should pick 2 of the 5 different majors. So they can choose 2 from sociology, economics, environmental sciences, political science, and data science. And they continue with those 2 in year 2 and 3. And then in year 4, similarly to PPE, they can either keep both and double major, or they can drop one and just keep one, and that will be their major. And again, just like in the other two programs, taking electives is possible, so they can, venture out to philosophy, or they can learn about, I don't know, gender studies or human rights, or they can do, extra courses depending on whatever they're interested in. I want to quickly mention that we have a very strong career guidance team, and career education at CEU begins in year 1. So we don't leave it to the end of your studies to think and talk about what you're going to do with your degree. There is a lot of different activities in groups, and also one-on-one advising that goes on in terms of career guidance. These colleagues or these staff members are also there to help you with, applying for internships or what internships to apply for. They also take part in designing and making the experiential learning modules of the CPS program come true. And yeah, maybe this is not strictly related to career guidance, but I nevertheless put up here that CEU offers very exciting study abroad opportunities at various universities around the world. I just put the country signs here, so maybe you will recognize some of them. So we have over 30 partners in the US, UK, Switzerland, Spain, Netherlands. So lots of countries in Europe, but also in places like South Korea or Japan or Canada or Israel. And so students who are doing the standard 4-year version of the BA program can spend up to 1 year abroad, either at 2 different institutions or the whole year at one place, for the same tuition as you would be paying at CEU. And some of these places include the London School of Economics, so iconic places for studying social sciences in Europe, or Sciences Po in Paris, or Bocconi University in Milan, Bard College in both the New York campus and the Berlin campus, and so on and so forth. I would like to mention the community at CEU, because there's a very lively community life at the university. You can imagine, with all this diversity, there's a lot going on. We also like to admit students who are usually active in their private life as well, so who like to do things and initiate things, and who are involved in all kinds of projects. So there's a student union. We have a mentor program where upperclassmen help out underclassmen in navigating the curriculum, or writing their thesis, or other things like that. There are many student clubs, and I put a couple of them on the slide here for you. There's a CEU choir and an orchestra, and a variety of annual community events like Sports Day, and there's a spring ball for all the students. So more, casual, and also a bit more formal events throughout the year organized by the university. And a couple of pictures to show you our wonderful student community and all the things they do. I'm not sure what the first picture is, but there's rowing on the Danube in the bottom right corner, and on the top right corner, it's the far bottom left corner are both from our CEU Intercultural Festival that is held every year to celebrate our the countries we come from, the cultures we were raised in, the foods we eat, the clothes we wear, and it's usually a super happy event, and everybody is excited to do these. A couple of words about the student profile at CEU. So we do, our programs are pretty competitive, and so we expect a strong academic foundation from your high school years. We usually attract students who are intellectually curious, who are excited to take on complex problems and to, examine them, and who are open to looking at things from very many different sides. And also we feel that the students who are best fit for this university are the ones who recognize the value of cultural diversity and the different national perspectives in the classroom. So this is, if we were to talk about like in general about the typical CEU student, there's no such thing, but like in general, then these would be the correct characteristics that come to mind. Couple of words about the application process and the requirements. So as an American university, we ask that you put together an entire portfolio of different things. There's no entrance exam per se, but we would like to see different things, see you upload different things on an online portal. So we would like to see your grades from high school and what kind of subjects you studied in high school. If you have any kind of academic testing that you maybe took for entry in another university, maybe an SAT test, or you were doing advanced placement courses, then we would like to see the results if you are proud of them, but it's absolutely optional. So if you didn't take them, don't take them for us. And if you took them, but it didn't go so well, then we don't ask that you submit them. We will need some proof of English language proficiency unless you graduated from a high school where English was the language of teaching for at least 3 years. We would like to see your CV, your educational history, and all the activities, all the things that interest you and everything that you're involved in. And then a couple of essays, a recommendation letter, and then finally there will be an interview for those who are selected for the final round. So it's pretty complex, but ideally it will give us a good picture, a well-rounded picture of the candidates. And because we have small classes, each program can admit up to 30 students per year. So you can imagine that we can actually handpick these students, and so that's how you can be sure that whatever you submit, it will be thoroughly read by several people, and then we even professors interview the finalists. So it's a really tailored admissions process, if you like. Just a quick glance at the deadlines. So we have a priority deadline, which is February 1st every year. And I recommend that you, as a student from the Philippines, if you decide to apply to us, then that you choose this deadline. If you are graduating next year from high school, because you will need to apply early, so to speak, to be able to get a visa. And this is also the deadline for any kind of financial support. And then we have a second deadline for those who come from students who have CEU citizenship and who don't need any financial aid. So to answer some of the questions, so our tuition fees are 7,000 euros per year. This is across nationalities. It doesn't matter whether someone is domestic or international. Actually, mostly everyone is international at CEU, so that's why we don't make a difference, or we don't make a difference between EU, non-EU. 7,000 across the board is the tuition fee. And then we made a calculation of the estimated cost of attendance, including the dormitory. By the way, someone asked what the dorm costs. So the dormitory costs, I think, 460 euros per month. And typically students book it for 10 months a year. So that's about 4,600 euros per year, but this includes everything. It includes utilities and the cleaning and the internet, and so everything. It's a decent price for this, and it also allows students to focus on their studies. And then we budgeted another. We were pretty generous when we budgeted these additional costs. You will probably, especially if you know how to live on a budget, then you can probably make it with less, 9 or 10,000 per year for the living costs. But that's approximately how much you should be thinking or planning on spending on additional like living costs. We do offer some partial financial support. First of all, health insurance, your health insurance, if you are admitted at CEU, will be covered by the university, which is already a great benefit. And then we have a number of scholarships and fellowships from outside donors. There, some special requirements might apply. Some donors want specifically to sponsor students from a specific country, so not everything might apply. But for example, the CEU Alumni Scholarship, which is money that was collected by our dear alumni, that's open to apply to everybody. And we also have partial merit-based program scholarships that are between or up to probably 50% of the tuition. But again, to be able to apply, you should submit your application by February 1st. And that is it. I recommend that you look at our website, which is undergraduate.ceu.edu. All these additional the costs and the fees are all the different details of the financial aid that we offer are there. The admission requirements and many more. We have recordings of webinars and all kinds of things for you to read and watch. And I'm going to quickly go back to the questions. Yeah, does the school offer on-campus jobs? Well, yes and no. We don't offer on-campus jobs like you would expect that happens at an American university. We're a really small operation, and we simply don't have the amount of jobs that would be necessary for students to have or to complete their work for their tuition. So we don't have the scheme. There are a couple of jobs, smaller jobs, but they are mostly unpaid, so volunteering opportunities. And so, yeah, on campus is not characteristic, is not customary. You could find some work in Vienna, but we really recommend, first of all, you would have to, you can only work, students can only work up to 20 hours per week by law in Vienna, in Austria. Second, you need to ask for the permission of your program director to do work next to your studies. And what else? And we really don't recommend it in the first year. So I would say you rather think of like trying to find external sources for your funding instead of planning to pay your tuition by working. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing here, and I would like to ask Miles to turn on her. Yeah, you turned on your microphone. So welcome, Miles. Thanks for coming here with me to talk to students. I wanted to ask you to just briefly introduce yourself.
Sure, it's my pleasure to be here, and it's really part of my advocacy to encourage people, especially those from the Philippines where I come from, to, at least explore the possibility of studying abroad. So hi everyone, kamusta? My name is Miles Malaya. I currently live in the Netherlands, but I'm also from the Philippines. Educational background, I studied in UP Diliman political science, and then I studied in UP law, obviously. And then I worked as an associate up to senior associate for 7 years in a law firm in the Philippines. Thereafter, I thought like, I wanted to learn more, I wanted to explore more, and what better way to do that than to study my master's abroad. So I studied my master's abroad in CEU. It's in international business law. Stayed there for a year, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. So then I went back home, worked for an international law firm. What else? And then because it's an international law firm, I worked in London for a year, and now I'm in the Netherlands working also for the same law firm I worked in Manila. So I feel like it's a life that my childhood self would be proud of. And it's, thanks also to CEU for that. So yeah. Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Maz. I will ask you a couple of questions, and I encourage our viewers, the students here, or whoever is, watching us to put questions for Miles in the Q&A. But right now, until that happens, I will just ask you a couple of questions that I think our audience would like to hear about. So first, how did you even come across, the Philippines and Central Europe are pretty far away. How did you even come across CEU? How did you learn about us?
Exactly, as you said, like Budapest. At that time, I studied in the Budapest campus, but like Budapest and the Philippines didn't have that much of an international relationship for us to know it. All I knew from Hungary was that it was in Europe. Actually, it happened that I had a friend from my undergraduate class who got into CEU the year before I did. She did the public policy class, and she only sung praises about it. So I thought, like, why not explore? For like a few years, I was attending those educational fairs around the Philippines, in the malls in the Philippines, and I was trying to see what was a good fit, which courses had law in them, which were in Europe, because my bias was really towards Europe. And then when she said, like, you should definitely go here, it's very central, and it's amazing. So I said, okay, then CEU definitely moved up my list.
Yeah. All right, thank you. And when you arrived, do you remember your first impressions of the place and the community, the atmosphere? How did that feel as someone who came from a very different part of the world?
Exactly. For me, I think the keyword is supported. Like, even in the beginning, like CEU, even though they had limited resources on like the visa process, they were very helpful in sending whatever documents that needed to be done. At that time in 2015, there was no Hungarian embassy in the Philippines, so I had to fly to Indonesia, which was the nearest one. So it wasn't as smooth as now, where we actually have a Hungarian embassy and, well, an Austrian embassy in the Philippines is the more relevant. But even before coming, they were very supportive. I was one of the people emailed, like, how much should I bring? How much? Like, every email was responded to. So that was even before coming. And then when I arrived, it was amazing. Like, there was a welcome committee, there were parties, there was a welcome packet. Like, everything that you might ask for was provided. So that was really nice.
Great. Would you tell, or is there anything that you would share with the students about what they should expect in terms of teaching style or learning at CEU, maybe the workload? You attended a graduate program, and
Yeah.
these students are looking at undergraduate programs, but
Yeah.
still, I think that the expectations are pretty much the same. So
Exactly.
what can you share about that?
Exactly. And thank you for prefacing that, because obviously there might be some level of difference between the undergraduate and my master's. And that's the thing, like, I come from the University of the Philippines College of Law, which is like, we read this much every day. And then we had a Socratic method. So the teachers called on us. Some professors were very terror, or that's what we call them, that they threw erasers. Well, I came from a period of time where that was still the norm, but now probably not. But in CEU, it's a lot more different. It's a smaller class, which is really fantastic. Like, our class was a class of 19 people. but from, I don't know, 16 different nationalities. So not only do you learn from the professors who are amazing luminaries, who fly from the US or Singapore or from whichever country they are based to teach in CEU, and the teachers are amazing. Class-wise, for example, a typical class would be, there would be readings assigned for that day and a discussion during that class. And for us, the discussion obviously wasn't just, very didactic or such. There was a very healthy discussion saying, like, in the Philippines, our jurisdiction, we do XYZ. In Armenia, in Kazakhstan, we do XYZ. So you learn from your classmates, you learn from the teacher. So that's amazing. During the time that I was studying in CEU, it was very module based. So we had, I think, 7 modules, and around three classes or so that you can pick from. There were, the usual base classes that everyone needed to mandatorily attend, and then afterwards you can choose your own specialty, which I found really helpful because not everyone wants to focus on arbitration, not everyone wants to focus on bankruptcy or whatever area of law they want to focus on. But I feel like that was amazing, the choice that was there. And my favorite part, really, the exams that we had was open book, because it wasn't about memorization, it was about analysis. And that's, I think, really, really important, that there's deeper things rather than what is X, what is Y, what's the capital of whatever. It's really like, these are the facts, how would you deal with it? So I think that for me, I think sharpened my craft, let's say, because it was a deeper type of knowledge rather than purely spouting out what you learn from the professor.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same in the undergraduate programs. And I think that although in a way it's more challenging than just, learning things by heart, although that also has its difficulties. But our experience that the knowledge that you get by practicing this synthesizing knowledge that you already learned about, so putting together information in your head and forming your own opinion or forming an educated opinion about things is what is really valuable, and what is going to make you a strong professional in any job you end up in.
Exactly.
You did mention that you studied at the Budapest campus, but do you have any memories or experience with Vienna as a city?
Of course. So Budapest was like a 2.5-hour train ride to Vienna. So when we have a long weekend, my classmates and I would go there, and it's an amazing city. It's fantastic. Like you picture in your head to be Europe, like the sprawling gardens, the castles, the operas, it's all there. So the culture is very, very rich there. And as you said, the nature is amazing. If you get the chance to go out of Vienna, go to Salzburg or go to Hallstatt or, Innsbruck, there's like everything that you want to see. Like for me, for example, I hadn't seen snow prior to, leaving the country. The Philippines doesn't have winter. So I feel like that was like one of the highlights. And I had classmates from India who had the same experience as me. It's like my first encounter with snow. So that was really, those things are magical, and you can't really get that from elsewhere, I guess. I mean, and the other thing is, in relation to the geography of the country, like obviously I stayed in Budapest, but during my stay in my master's, I was able to travel to 17 other countries within the EU and Europe. So I think there was a question in the Q&A as well. Yes, you can use your student visa to travel within the EU, but I also went to Turkey, for example, and to Bosnia-Herzegovina. And Serbia, which aren't in the EU, but if you have a residence card, that's in the EU. There's like a visa on arrival type of arrangement with those countries. And for me, like I travel there alone or sometimes with my classmates, and I feel like that's really where, I don't know, 50% of my learning was traveling around Europe.
That's amazing. That's great. It's good. Thank you for mentioning it, because I think so if you study basically anywhere in Europe, but the more central, the easier it is to really get around, because the countries are really small. And just like you said, you hop on a train and 2 hours, 3 hours later, you are in a completely different country.
Exactly.
and that's very, I heard many students mention this, that, you know, it's one of the advantages of studying in Europe.
Exactly,
Okay,
because
so yeah.
Sorry, no,
Sorry,
I just wanted to say, like, because if you are in a car in EDSA in the Philippines, in 2 hours you're probably like 20 kilometers away. But here you're in a different country, so I mean it's a different traveling experience. Let's just say that.
Yeah. All right. So I thought that as a lot to wrap it up, as the last thing I will ask you to do is whether you have any words of wisdom to share with students who are thinking of maybe studying abroad or applying elsewhere than the Philippines, maybe now, maybe later, maybe for their masters. What is your advice for them?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really do it. Like if you have an itch to do it, definitely do it. It kind of changes you. Like in the Philippines, we're very family oriented. We're very, communal oriented. So I felt like I found who I was as an individual when I was there, because you're forced to, well, not forced, but you're in a circumstance that you're there and that your support system is elsewhere. But I found that that's really, it's a good time to do it. It's very meditative. It's transformative. I feel that you're able to do that, and travel alone, reinvent yourself if you have to. But I feel like really studying abroad, like physically taking yourself out of your comfort zone, is crucial. And I feel like it's amazing, like not just for yourself as an individual, but also like in your career. So when I went back home from the Philippines after my master's, I applied to the jobs that I was rejected to before, and they point blank said it's because you have a master's elsewhere. That's why you were given the second interview or the third interview. And I think it matters. It still matters to people where you study, and it's an opportunity. And now I feel like a big factor in why I have been accepted into an international law firm is because I have international experience with people from different cultures from me. Like nowhere else would I know people from Kazakhstan, from Kyrgyzstan, from Armenia, from Georgia, from India, if it wasn't from CEU, right? It's really eye opening, and I feel like the friendships last. Like for example, I graduated 6-7 years ago. I still talk to my friends. Like we're meeting in Italy in the month, so I still have my friends from everywhere are going to have a reunion and do that. So it's really amazing. And again, anecdotally, when we had right after we graduated in 2016, we all again met in 2017 for a CEU reunion. And just FYI, guys, it's on a ship. Like we go through the Danube and like socialize. So, and that's CEU made that happen. So I feel like it might wherever it is, not necessarily be in CEU, not necessarily for a BA, but at some point in your lives, even for a year or two for masters, then that's amazing.
Thank you, Maya. This is even for me, it's really good. I all know this information, but it's so good from someone who lived through it.
Yeah.
So thank you for the attention of everyone who was listening. This was Miles from the Netherlands. She's our alumna, and myself from the university admissions. Thank you for having us at this conference, and we wish everyone good luck with their university applications.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrea and Miles. You made Europe sound really, really nice. I suddenly want to go. But yeah, I'm sure I can speak for everyone here when I say we learned a lot about CEU, and we'll definitely put it on our radar when applying. So to everyone here, if you're interested in staying in touch with them, I will send over the interest form again in the chat. There you go. So you can fill that out with your contact details, and we'll send over your info. So that concludes our first session of the day. A big thank you once again to Andrea and Miles and all our attendees for joining us. So the next college on the call will be USF. So San Francisco, I will make my colleague a host and we can start that. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, hold on. Make And we have our speaker for today here as well. But I'll let San Francisco do the talking.
Hi. Hello. All right. So I think our speaker's here already, so I'll start and continue. So good evening, everyone. Hope you are all still doing good. And to those who have stuck with us, thank you for taking the time to listen in to our next amazing university with us today for our 2022 college fair. So first things first, we would like to thank our sponsors again, the Princeton Review Philippines, AUG Student Services, LIMS Review Center, Study International Philippines, AIM Review Philippines, ICLA at Yamanashi Gakuin University, Queen's University, and Syracuse University. So I am your moderator, San Francisco. Happy and honored to introduce today's speaker representing the University of San Francisco. They will be here with us for an hour to present about the academics, student life, and more about their university. And after the presentation, they can also answer any questions that you may have for them. So for our attendees, if you have any questions at any point during the talk, please feel free to send them over through the Q&A feature. We will also link an interest form in the chat if you want your contact details to be forwarded to the University of San Francisco. So please access the link and fill up the form. And to our speakers at the end of your information session, please feel free to scroll through the questions in the Q&A and answer those you wish to. Without further ado, here's Ms. Kutaya representing the University of San Francisco. Let me make Miss Kataya co-host so she can turn on her camera. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. Can I be able to share my screen now?
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right.
Take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for all the campaigns. Thank you for the moderator. Okay, let me make my whole screen. My name is Kitaya. I am Director of International Admission at University of San Francisco. Similar to the previous of Central European University, I'm also an alum. So literally means I was originally from Thailand and then went to study in USF and then graduate there. And now I help in university as alum and also a director of international admission. I'm oversee the Southeast Asia and also including with Taiwan and also South Korea. So there will be a lot. Thanks you to Camp Philippines. I'm a big fan of the Camp Philippines. I have been in the person 3 years before the pandemic, and hopefully will be a good time next year, next summer, that I'm gonna be like in person with the Camp Philippines. Okay, I know you have wondering about San Francisco, so I'm gonna walk you through today regarding about university and introductions and all of that. So thanks again. If you're interested in, please feel free to put your name on the link that the Camp Philippines has shared with you. The link that's mean is you just put the email on it. We can keep in touch, and then we also waive application fee, or ask any questions will be. And I'm also admission counselor. When I'm talking about director of admission, it means I'm the one who review your application. Say admit or not admit, or we all talk about scholarship also. Okay. Okay. Again, welcome to University of San Francisco. We just call University of San Francisco as USF. We are private Justice University, same chapter as Tuviera or also as Ateneo de Manila in Philippines. So that means is we are kind of like part of Justice University that kind of like strength in concentrated in terms of committing social justice and service to the others. We are private university located in the heart of San Francisco, but it doesn't mean like very downtown. So I'll be speaking about 25 minutes away from downtown, surrounded by a very beautiful residential area. And then so you can see it's very safe, and then also those kind of stuff like that also. Okay, so that it means okay, and then I'm sorry, hold on a second. If someone's calling, I'm sorry. Okay, do you hear me? I'm sorry, hold on a second. Okay, I have no idea. It might be a technical error. Okay, and we just gonna continue. I'm so sorry for that one. Because we are USF, so we are a private university. So when we talk about private university, we talk about a very small classes. So that it means is we are the average size of the class is only about 22, 25 students per one class. So it doesn't go like very lecture hall, like a 150 students and all of that. And then we also kind of like, we are proud to say we are #1 for the most ethical diverse in the diverse university in the US. Okay, so likely we are in small classes, we are very engaged, you're going to get more individual attention, other professors and all of that. We also part of the liberal art program. When I'm saying liberal art program, it might be a new new idea for the Filipino students, is because we quite different than the local university in Philippines. Liberal art, it means you're not coming for university as your major deeply. So likely we're going to start something else as well. So likely you can give broad perspective aspects and everything like that along the way. When we talk about San Francisco, you likely to hear about the internships and jobs. USF has been founded in 1855. So likely we have a long list of alumni and all of that. And then we also have great internships and jobs available for you. We are quite well known for School of Management. So we also rank number 37 for entrepreneurship innovations and also the marketing. We also have the other program for you also. This is our cube map for location. So you can see we sit in the heart of San Francisco, but it's kind of like very, USFs also use San Francisco as the main campus for you to learn also, especially for, you can see like we have a lot of things going on. We have like a sightseeing, we have museum, we have like athletic park. We have a lot of places like a financial districts and all like those cute little places, cute little ethnic cities places that you can be able to like learn more about diversity. So especially for School of Management student, you can be able to, go to visit some companies, do some internships and jobs. San Francisco is quite more unique, and in terms of the way, I know in US we have a lot of cities, we have like 50 states, but San Francisco make it so unique is #1, is about the weather. It's about 8 to 12 degrees Celsius throughout the year. So that means is it doesn't get, like summertime, like in Philippines or in Thailand, those kind of stuff like that. I know our countries in Southeast Asia, we have like hotter and hottest, like which is like is never get cold. So San Francisco is also like 8 to 12 degrees Celsius. We don't have snow, but likely we have a lot of fog. So it's kind of like cold, not too cold. It's kind of very comfortable weather, I would say. The second one is making San Francisco so unique and very, very attractive is the transportation. We have a great complete transportation itself. So that means is likely you don't need to learn how to drive. I know I've been talking to many Filipino students and they're like, if I'm going to go to study in the United States, do I need to make a license? That's kind of become as a one of the topic as well. For San Francisco, you don't need to learn how to drive. We have a complete transportation system, which is mean we have bus, we have the ferry, we have train, we have subways, and all of that connecting you all over the places in San Francisco. So you can see that it's very convenient for all the students. A School of Art, if you like art person, you have a lot of museums for you to visit. There are a lot of places. If you are a very good, like very interested in foodies or coffee like me, you will more enjoy San Francisco better because they have more ethnic cities, international dishes that you can try out and all those kind of stuff like that. So it's very great locations. And then also it's a good place for you to kind of like explore a little bit more. University of San Francisco, even though it's kind of like a small private liberal art colleges, we offer you about 50 majors and also 45 minors. So whatever I saw on the screen here, it's just a sample of majors. We break down the majors into particularly 5 schools. One of it is going to be arts and science. Second one will be like about nursing and then health professional. I have a lot of quite of numbers of the students in Philippines who would love to study nursing and also something related to the health science. We also do have that as well. US University of San Francisco is considered as one of the top 6 for a nursing school, and nursing is very competitive. I can talk more about that later on. And in the third one, of course, we have a School of Management. We offer, lovely speaking, about 7 concentrations like marketing, finance, international business. It can be also business analytic is coming in. And we also have, of course, entrepreneurship and innovation. So the School of Management is quite well known, so you can go right ahead and choose whatever you want, but you don't, if you know for sure you want to study business, you don't have to pick like marketing and finance and you stick with it. So mostly the School of Management together study all the foundation prerequisites together, and maybe just going to go through and then choose your major later on. We also have School Education and School of Law. This is kind of like a prepare you for your graduate school. Okay, so this is how to break it down. However, we still have a lot, we also have, we offer pre-professional programs. So that means is if you would love to become a doctor, you would love to become a dentist or a lawyer or vet, we also have that available. But please keep in mind, in school in the United States, do not offer Bachelor of Medicine. So that means is if you're looking forward to become a doctor, you're likely to start with the pre-med program. So pre-med will serving you as a minor, and then your major likely will be your biology and things like that, or chemistry, something related to the science. We also offer a STEM program as well. So if you're looking for computer science program, data science program, business analysis and all of that, this is going to be covered. Some students asking me, hey, hello, miss, I don't know yet what I want to study. That's fine. That is also good for a liberal art like us. If you don't know for sure, maybe you have 2 or 3 majors in your mind, you also can be applied as an undecided or undeclared. For University of San Francisco, we allow you to change major anytime you want. For example, you're likely to become, you want to say, I'm interested in psychology. And later on, you explore yourself a little bit at university and you say, I don't want psychology anymore. I felt like I interested in kinesiology. Can I change my major? Of course you can. We don't have any regulations in terms of like how much GPA you need to do. What you need to do is just go to see our academic major advisor, and then likely he or she can be able to helping you out. All the majors are shown on this screen. If you want to find more, the majors and minors, of course, I have a QR code all the way at the bottom. But if you're interested, if you want to apply any of this or undecided, we use the same admission requirement, which is I can cover a little bit more, unless if you're going to apply for nursing and engineering, this is one we're going to call direct entry. So that means is we're going to take a look more closely how much science and then how much math that you have. So, but the rest, if you're going to study non-majors, talk about non-nursing and non-engineering, we use exactly the same. We don't even know, we don't even count what strand you're coming from. If you come from strand of STEM, you can apply something else. Same thing as you're coming for another strand of humanities, you want to do STEM, you can be able to do that as well. So we are quite flexible in that way. If you have questions, feel free to leave in the chat or Q&A. Then likely we can discuss that later on in after presentation. Okay. When I talk about liberal art, I would love you to make it clear that this is how undergraduate curriculum at liberal art at University of San Francisco look like. We divided by 3, let's say 3 parts. First part would be about major requirements. So likely you can choose whatever you want, as I mentioned, psychology, biology, chemistry, and all of that. That's one. But your major requirement likely to count only 1/3 of the credit that you're going to study here at university. What the other second third? We're going to talk about the core curriculum or general education. This is going to be like a heart of a liberal art because we want you to be prepared for the career and whatever to see the world, to have a very better perspective, a broad of knowledges, so you can be able to be flexible, adjusted it to everything. So in other words, it's mean the general education, we train you to think correctly, to talk correctly, and write correctly, or analyze and everything like that. So this is a general education core that we're asking you to take. This is a public speaking, and then also like writing, math and science and literature. We give you some topics for you in order for you to pick, but it doesn't mean like we put you. I had once to review the transcript from Ateneo de Manila University. I saw how you guys study pretty hard because you like the university give you a course link and it's kind of like a freshman format courses and you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for us, you can choose whatever you want. For example, you see history as a part of a core curriculum. Okay, we do not force you to study US history. We do not force you to do anything like that. If you felt like you want to take European history, you want to take Asia Pacific history, we also have Philippine history classes at university because Philippine studies has become one of the minor of our Asia Pacific studies too. If you want to take that one, go right ahead and take it. So this is kind of something that you can be able to pick, okay? Beside a major, beside a core curriculum, we're likely to ask you to take the classes that you want, but it doesn't belong to your major or core curriculum. So we call electives. So electives can be anything. I don't mean electives is mean art or BPE. We do not force you to take PE at university. However, if you want to take 2 credit classes of your PE as elective, you can do that. But my elective means any other classes that you might want to explore yourself. For example, you are biology students and you want to know exactly how psychology is doing. You might want to take general psychology or Psych 101 as your electives. That is also fine, okay? When I was to study at the University of San Francisco, my elective was foreign languages. So I went on to a Mandarin classes and all of that. So this is elective classes that you can be able to pick whatever you want. I know you're coming from the high school that usually have a very particular schedule for you to set up. But when you come to university, when I'm asking you to choose your classes, maybe you kind of get a bit lost by like which one I should choose. So technically, University of San Francisco, a USF student will get assigned by 2 advisors. One of it will be called something called coaching, the coaching success coach, and the other one will be academic advisor. You can be talking to him or her, and likely they were going to walk you through to the classes that you like. When among all of 3 of this, it very means that one semester, when you are taking classes, USF's limit only 18 credits. So that means is you're not going to study everything all, like for your major. You're going to be probably 1 class for your major, couple 2 classes of core. So likely it's balanced and off. So that's why it makes us very flexible to change your major. We do not have a deadline one more time to change a major, but mostly 80% start to know themselves about year 2, like the end of year 2 or coming to year 3, likely the end of your sophomore year or before you go into upper division. For example, I myself went to USF as a typical Asian parents would love you my dad would love me to study business. Also, I went to School of Management at USF. However, the 2 years later, I found myself that I don't like business anymore. I love kind of like a more computer, information technologies, coding and all of that. So I changed my major at year 2 and I can graduate on time. So when you change a major, there's no like way for you to get started one more time like a UK university or local university in Philippines. So typically means you can transfer your credit to the other department and then continue on. So you don't losing your time in terms of graduation. You can graduation on time as well. A lot of people sometimes taking these electives and then they like it so much. For example, you like history, you keep going and going and going, and then you felt like, oh my God, I felt like I can declare that as a minor. So this is going to be another good thing for you to explore yourself too. So you can do a double major, which is not related. You can do 1 major and 1 minor, not related to each other also. So that is kind of like a more academic. The only one thing that set USF so unique at university is this one. We are very community engaged learning. So this is a photo that you will see when you walk into our university. You see a small group, kind of like exchange the ideas, learning about each other, a very small classes. So they're likely to kind of like get to know each other more. our professor knows you, that you are Filipino, they will call you by name. I'm sorry to say, if you're going to other state university, like maybe State University or UC, then it's gonna be like a 150 students in one class. They don't know your name. So technically this is gonna be giving you more individual attention. Just with approach is also kind of like a parallel line with with our academic. So what we need is, instead of have a very excellent academic, we try to teach you how to be a good person as well by take care of the other people along the way. Okay, so that it will be something like that. After academic, now I have quite a lot of people asking me, hey, Kitaya, how is your student life in San Francisco? You see, we live in an urban city. We are surrounded by in the city. We have vibrant campuses. So this is a kind of like a lot of student life that we have going on our campus. We are proud to say we have a 150 student clubs and organizations at University of San Francisco. Kasmahan is a Filipino-American student club. It's very popular and very active. So this is one thing that you might want to join. So technically our 150 student clubs organizations can be divided by culturals. So you can do Kasmahan. If you're interested in something else like the Southeast Asia, do you want to do something else, you can be able to be part of a cultural or diversity or ethics group as well. The second one, it can be professional or professional academic interest. So that's me. A lot of people love together. I have a couple students at university. They didn't study finance, but they love to kind of like talk about crypto money and all of that, or stocks. So like they created the club called Stock Club and things like that along the way. And then they try to kind of like share the common interest among them and then carry on and all that. We also have art, music, dances, sports, and all of that also along at university. So you can be able to choose. When we talk about student club organization, again, this is not a high school. So we not require you to pick one or two clubs. If you don't want anything, that's fine too. But usually a lot of people take this time kind of like a more networking and then expand more, the one that you feel have a passion or you have a common interest about it. Couple students will sign about one or two or three. It will depend on it. So you can be able to pick on. If you guys are athlete, University of San Francisco is also D1 school. So that means we are Division 1. So we talk about basketball, volleyballs, and golf and things like that too. If you're interested in, if you are if you're an athlete or sport player at your school, would you love to try on our athlete? Feel free to reach me, and then I can connecting you with the athletic department, and you can do a tryout and all of those kind of stuff like that also. Okay. Besides student life, a lot of people are wondering how about accommodations at university. Our university have about 5 dormitories going on right now. So likely we have on-campus housing available on the campus. We have 5 different co-ed dorm, and we have 1 female dorm available only. If you approach school and you look for a female dorm, we also have that available. Again, we are not require you to live on campus. So that means is you can be able to pick whatever you want, or if you have any relatives living in San Francisco, you want to live with them, that's fine. But this is going to be your first time for you to study abroad. This is going to be your first time for you to leave Philippines and coming to the United States. I highly recommend you to live on the dorm, on the campus. USF offer you to guarantee a housing if you apply on time. So likely you submit the application on time and all of that. So likely we guarantee you 2 years. Okay, so but definitely a lot of people take experience of being on campus for first year, and then the second year they like want to live on their own also. So when you live on the campus, usually we have quite safe. We have like about some campus safety going on and all of that together. And then when we room, but USF doesn't have a single room for you. We'd like you to ask you to share the room with someone or your roommate. So you can be able to pick your roommate also if you know someone from Philippines or your classmates or anybody who would like to come to USF together, you can decide to do one. Or otherwise, when you apply, get accepted and you apply for housing, we also allow you to kind of like looking for on your own roommate. We have like a couple of preference sheets for you to fill it out, and we try to match you with the same person. Or sometimes a lot of people post on the Facebook or Instagram, and they like need to know each other, and then they decide to become a roommate. So this is kind of like the things going on over here also. Okay, as I mentioned, University of San Francisco, it's kind of like more than 167 years. So we have alum all over the place. So this is just only about 5 to 10% that likely to giving you where our USF students will land on after a graduation. So we have a quite big, a lot of people work on Google, work on the Tesla, Twitter, Deloitte, and all of that coming together. So technically how we do it, we're using a couple more techniques. Number one is we have career and internship offices that kind of like take care of the students. So again, internship is not required for your graduation at USF unless you are taking entrepreneurship innovations, also with the hospitality, then you need to do. But 80% of USF students use opportunity to be at USF and also with San Francisco to looking for the intern. So we have a great career and internship offices that get you started. In order to find a jobs or interns right now in San Francisco or in the United States, usually a lot of people start with the LinkedIn profile. So likely we're gonna come, if you walk into the career and internship offices, they were teaching you how to write LinkedIn profile, how to bring the resume in, and then of course, a lot of courses, a lot of jobs will require the interview. So likely we have a mentor or coach kind of like pretending this is your job interview. They might video you or do a mock-up interview and give you some advice and all of that. That's the first one. The second one, USF is also part of our consortiums with the internships like the handshakes and all the other internship tools that we used. So likely if they have internships available, USF's highlight students know as the first group of the students to know exactly what kind of jobs or internships are available or open up. So that would be the other one also. Third, with 167 years of university, we have the great alum all over. We also created our called alumni mentorship programs. Sometimes alumni would like to sit with you and share the great success and all of that come together. So likely USF students can have more explore in terms of jobs and opportunities. Meanwhile, we also invited our alumni to come back to our campuses to recruit our current students to do the interns or jobs. We also have a career fair and things like that going on at the university as well. It doesn't mean like we prepare you, but it doesn't mean like we can list number one, number two, number three. But what we meant is we try to prepare you from the first start to get you to the right, exactly jobs and interns and all of that together along the way. Okay, now we talk about academic, we talk about student life, we talk about housing. So now please pay attention to, this is kind of like a more very kind of like serious part if you're looking forward to do the applications or apply. Okay, University of San Francisco is a part of the Common Applications. I know you might be familiar with the Common App. So like we use a Common App for you guys to be able to apply. So you can go right ahead and create an account and all of that, and then we can go through the applications. When we talk about the Common App, it likely come up with the application essay and one supplemental questions too. Application essay, it can be anything related to you. It can be something that whatever you want us to know about your personal character, what kind of things you learn, those kind of reflection you have, and all of that. And also, we require you to do one supplemental question. So what it means is like you hear about my presentation today, talk about social justice. They might asking you like why you like this mission and all of that coming together. In terms of making your application complete, we likely to want to see your high school transcripts. I know your grade 8 for grade 9 and grade 10 is also count as a junior high school. But in the United States, grade 9 to grade 12 is considered as high school. So when you're applying for a university, we likely to see your transcript from grade 9 to grade 12. Okay, so likely please attach your grade 9 and grade 10 come along with your current one as well. We also asking you to do the little accommodation, but it's kind of like an optional. But as a mission counselor like me, we would love to get to know you. So mostly if you have a homeroom teacher, any teacher at your school would love to give a little accommodation, I might read it. But if they don't going to give to you, so that's fine, it's optional. Okay, so that's going to be. The next items are SAT or ACT. I have a lot of questions about that also. I'm going to say, University of San Francisco, this is our 5th year to become a test optional. What does it mean by test optional? I know you might hear from UC, University of California, as a test blind, test free, test optional, and all of that. For me, test optional means we not require you to submit SAT or ACT. It's optional. But if you felt like I'm preparing my SAT courses, this is after pandemic, SAT is open now, I would love to take my challenges by going to SAT or ACT test, then go right ahead. I highly recommend you to go and take it. But after you have the score, you might have to think about it if this score is very reflect your ability. If it does, then you just go right ahead and submit to us. If it's not, then don't worry about it. A lot of people keep asking me hey, what is your SAT average or minimum? We do not have minimum of SAT or ACT, so likely we have the average. So our average SAT is, roughly speaking, is like about 1275 out of 1600. You can say about 1300 if you round it off. So that's our average. If you feel like you have that average SAT, that's fine. You want to submit because you believe that your SAT can restrain your application, then go right ahead and submit. But if you don't feel like, no, this is one, I don't want to show SAT to university, that's also fine. You can click on the test optional, then we are not going to asking you for your SAT also. We don't use any SAT to determine the scholarship also. So likely it's very more in terms of if you believe it's strength your application. Okay, and then if you would love to submit the SAT, USF also accepting you a super score. What it means by super score, it means you can take SAT multiple times and take the highest of your critical reading and higher math combined together. That is how we talk about super score. Okay, the next items is about English language proficiency. I know many universities in the US do the admission differently, but for us as USF, we know you because you are Filipino student. I know your curriculum. So likely, I will waive your English language proficiency. In order to waive that, you have to submit the transcript from grade 9 to grade 11 or 12. So likely we can see if your English grade is so good, no questions about it, I'm happy to waive it. So I'm not asking you to go right ahead and then taking Duolingo or TOEFL or IELTS because I know you're going to do very well anyway. Okay, so just let me know. But if you're not going to get waived, just email to the admission counselor or email to me and I will take care of it. Okay, the another 2 part is for international students. So that means is we love to see certificate of finance or proof of funds of university. You have to show the proof of funds that you'll be able to pay for tuition and all of that. We can talk more about the amount later on. And then the last item is going to be about passport photo page. I know you might have a middle name and things like that along the way. The way we do is we want to matching your the letter of acceptance if we're accepting you or I-20 matching with your passport. So likely we have to see your passport photo page along with it also. Application deadline at USF, we have about 2 rounds. So that means is we have, let's talk about fall. We have fall and then spring intake, 2 intakes, okay? But for fall, we have 2 rounds. We have early action, early decisions by November 1st. If you guys want regular actions, and you can do it January 15th. What that means with different. The early action, it means you are ready and you want USF to be shortlisted of your university perhaps, and you're ready. You don't have to wait anything else. So that means you want to apply early, you want to get notified early. So let's talk about early action. Okay, early decision is binding, but don't worry about those. So let's talk about early action. Early action is mean not binding. You want to apply first, you get to know first. If you don't come to our university, that's also fine, okay? But if you felt like I want to include my mid-year grade as senior year. I know the school's open now. I'm going to do very well. Let's take a shot. I'm going to do regular action. You can do the regular action also by apply by January 15th. Technically, it means if you apply by November 1st, for early action, you complete the application, you're likely to get notified by December. But if you apply for regular action, you complete the application, you're likely to hear by March. Okay, so that would be the difference between of that. In USF, we don't do favor one or favor the other. So a lot of university things like, oh my God, I either do early action, I get higher chance to get accepted at university. We don't do those kind of stuff like that. So likely we use the same admission requirement. We use a holistic approach to all of that. So you can see from the way at the bottom when I listing how we apply, we likely to see who you are, how you're coming from, what are your academic standings, what is your essays look like, is that best fit to university, those kind of stuff like that. Then we kind of like make a decisions on that one as well. Okay, then it's very important that I would love to share with you is University of San Francisco offer you the merit-based scholarship. Okay, when I talk about merit-based scholarships, it very means your academic performances from grade 9 to grade 12. Okay, I know you have been studying very hard. You're all A's, you're all like 90%, you are excellent and all of that. So likely we would love to kind of keep, because you're working so hard, we would love to give you some award as well. So our scholarship ranging from $7,000 to $27,000 US dollars. So the maximum one, I'm sorry to say it's not a full ride, but at least USF is generous already. Give you about 50% of our tuition. So that means $27,000 US dollars a year. When you get it, we get you awarded a scholarship. This good scholarship will carry on until you graduated. So that means it can be renewed for 4 years. You don't have to write email to me. Hi, Kitaya. I met you in the Camp Philippines. I want a scholarship. You don't need to write an essay. You don't need to show me anything. So likely the scholarship will be automatically considered or give it to you when you are applied and fully applied. Okay, so that I hope that it makes sense or hoping you to know more. And then for the first year student, if you felt I have a couple Filipinos this year to starting taking a gap year, if you would love to take a gap year and you will come back to university without taking any other classes at higher institutions, we are welcome for your application in the spring in the 2023 as well. So that means the class start in later on in January. Okay. Among that, if you felt like I want to study closer to my house right now, maybe Ateneo de Manila, University of the Philippines, or Asia Pacific University, whatever, and then later on you want to transfer, you want to move to transfer to USF, I'm happy to say we're also providing you a scholarship as well. The application item doesn't look very kind of like more detailed like the first year. We just want your applications and college transcript and all of that. Again, it is proficiency I can rate for you also. So the sense of like that. And then we give you a merit-based scholarship. So we give you scholarships from $10,000 to up to $16,000. So the maximum one will be equivalent to 30% of our tuition. Okay, so and this is also renewed until you graduate. We don't say like how much units you need to complete and all of that. We say like you want to transfer, that's fine. But if you haven't been only short term or short time in university, only less than 24 credits, we're just asking you to submit a high school transcript also. And then I will work with you with the transcript credit and all of that together along. Okay, so that is more about the kind of like how to apply and all of that. I know you guys do a lot of social media. If you would love to, we also have a TikTok account, and you can follow us on Instagrams, and you can be able to like looking more for more events. University of San Francisco will offer the virtual international student virtual one, so you can be able to sign up, or you can look it on the website also. And this is all the photos of our lovely student activities. We have a lot of things going on for you. Also very vibrant campus and all of that together. Okay, and you can be able to follow us also. Okay, I know I'm coming to Manila next weekend. So I am a part of Education USA of Fulbright Philippines. If you guys interested, I know I'm talking about college essay. I talk about the application, how to apply. If you are interested in, I know we cannot meet in person for the Camp Philippines, but if you would love to attend my sessions and I can share more secretly about being an admission counselor, what kind of essay that you will be really looking for, or how to submit, what is how to do with a Common App, please feel free to sign up. It's going to be on Tuesday from 2 to 4 at the Fulbright office in Makati. So if you booked in for, you can email to me directly. I can send you another link. Otherwise, you can do the QR, or you can look it up at Education USA Philippines Facebook. That will be the other one also. Okay, beside that one, so excited. I'm coming to Manila again on October 8th. So I don't know the place yet, but this is going to be part of Education USA College Fair. We are so excited. We never have fair in 3 years. So we're going to come to see you. So hopefully we can get to know, helping you or assisting you, anything like that. So I'm just going to let you know what is been going on also. If you want to reach me, beside writing the, beside all the interest form that Kyle just sent it out, or the moderator just sent it out, you can email to us as International USFCA, or you can scan the QR code and you can see me, or you can contact International Admission. So that will be, so you can reach me, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have and all of that, or share my experience someday. Okay, so that is kind of like part of my presentation. So now I'm gonna send it back to the moderator, or Kai, or from any staff from Camp Philippines. If you would love to run the Q&A, please join me. Okay.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Kitaya. Okay, so for our Q&A portion, can you access the feature?
Yeah, I did. So, okay, you want me to go one by one now?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, I'm so sorry when I'm talking. I know I saw. Thank you for. Please feel free to kind of like feeding all the questions together. So, you know, maybe your questions can be some other questions. So this is like American style. We try to learn, we try to share, we try to discuss. Okay, so none of them are fully questions. Okay, it's no right and no wrong. We would love to go on. Okay, how safe is San Francisco as a city? Number one, I know you talk about the safety a lot. San Francisco is a big city, so I would say it's quite safe, but I can tell only when nearby our campus, because our campus is far away, about from the downtown 25 minutes. So likely it's quite safe in our neighborhood. However, San Francisco or anywhere else in the US, you have to learn how to take care of yourself also. But there's a lot of multiple ways that you can be able to, such as when you come to orientation, they will let you know like what you to do and things like that. And then you need to go out, you have to go as with a buddy. You have to rely on yourself and all of that. When I was in San Francisco, I'm pretty okay with it. I know we might have some couple homeless people around in San Francisco, but it didn't bother me. So likely I usually go to school and then sit the bus, like, you know, sitting after, like behind the bus driver and all of that. If I felt like this is too late for me, I might take an Uber or some things like that. And when they come into the campus, we have like security and everything like that. So likely it will be pretty safe in some senses. Okay, I hope I can answer that question too. All right, next questions is, how are the biology related job opportunities in the area? Okay, biology at University of San Francisco, when we talk about is a big concentration. So when we break it down, it can go to like a biochem. And we also have the new one called biotechnology. So San Francisco is well known with the high tech and then health science. When we make it bio and then tech come together, so like it's going to be biotechnology, right? How do you think about the new created one? So biology can be break it out to be a research area as well. And biology can be break it down to a pre-medical track. Maybe you don't want to be a pre-med. you can be something else. Like, for example, occupational therapist, I want to be a surgeon, I can be helping the people. So those biology can be divided by the so many kind of like concentrations and many tracks as well. We have career health advisor helping you out in terms of getting your career and under biology as well. Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for the questions. Next one is, do you have a pre-med undergrad program? Yes, I do. So we have that one. So again, as I mentioned, pre-med, pre-dentistry, pre-vet is also as a pre-professional health program, serve as a minor. So your major, it can be anything, biology, chemistry, and environmental science, and all of that. So it's fun. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you for question again. What is standard of USC for international student in terms of admission? I'm not sure you mean USF. If you mean of USF in terms of admission, we would say that we take a holistic approach. So a lot of people keep asking me how much GPA you need to make or minimum and things like that. We don't determine people how to get admission by the GPA. People have different story. Grade 9, grade 10, you are in junior high. When you come into grade 11, when you take the stranded STEM or whatever, it might take a lot of adjusted and all of that. So likely we want to see you, but likely we want to see how uptrends you are, how you ready, take a challenging, all of that together. Yeah, so that will be my question to you, my answer to you. What type of student would thrive the most in USF? I love these questions. You can see USF is small community, social justice, very engaged learning and all of that together. So likely we want to see the people with the leadership. We don't want, I mean, if you have straight A's, that looks good. But what I meant is the people that can thrive the USF, it doesn't mean like you put in academic. You don't have to memorize all things. We would love to see you outgoing. We want to see your leaderships. We want to see you like explore yourself. That's how you're gonna thrive in the USF. Okay. Okay, why taking English A, language or literature in SL IBDP program? Oh, thank you for having that. I'm sorry I forgot to mention, we also have the multiple ways for grade English proficiency too. If you are IBDP people, if you have the grade of the English languages, maybe English literature or English languages, language 5 or above, we likely to kind of rate your English proficiency already. We also can have a SAT as well. If your critical reading is 560, we also can rate as well. Okay. Yeah, thank you for that questions. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have IB people coming here also. When we talk about the IB, I'm not talking about how much IB predicted you're gonna have. Likely we trace it back. If you before you come to IB, you take NYP or you take the other program, we likely to see your grade 9 all the way up to the grade 12. Okay, so thank you so much. What do you advise of those who wish to become a doctor in the US? Okay, so likely in US, when you become a doctor, it takes literally 8 to 9 years. Okay, I know we might get full in terms of when we see Korean drama, you see a very medical, cute doctor, young doctor, you know, you assume like, yeah, in Asia, it takes 5 to 6 years to become a doctor. But in US, it takes 9 years. So likely you have to take the pre-med program, and then you have to go through the MCAT exam, prepare the MCAT exam, and then prepare the interview, and then become the doctor. So likely the doctor can be anything. You can be dermatologist, you can be dentistry, you can be vet, you can be, you know, all the things put together. So that's my advice. I mean, if you would love to go to medical school, that's fine too, but you have to be aware that it takes time. Because in the US, the doctor take more responsibilities. Okay, so likely it takes a long time for you, and it's very challenging for international students as well, but a lot of people can make it. Or if my advice, you would love to take medical, you know, like you can go to medical schools in Philippines, for example, and then you would love to become a doctor. It's not bad, but you can go to US later on and do a specialized medical years or graduate school, something like that coming along. Okay. Yeah, you can plan whatever you want. You can plan to be a doctor now, but you can change your mind later when you come to US also. Okay. Are you required to live in the dorm? No, you're not required to live in the dorm. Okay, but 75% shows if you live in the dorm, if you get the scholarships, you're likely to continue or maintain your scholarship also. I'm so sorry, we do not offer 100% of need-based scholarships unless you come with the athlete scholarships. Okay, thank you so much for that question. How is the Filipino community there? I would say it's very great, it's very strong. I worked with Filipino students from your Philippines, and also I worked with the Filipino Americans who are in the USF also. It's a big community. They lovely, like Kasmahan will be the one that I show you that they lovely to create something they show. In USF, we also have Philippine studies. So yeah, a lot of people, we also offer Tagalog as one of the languages at USF. So this is how we create it, or we kind of make it welcome the Filipinos, and then also your culture as one diversity of the in USF. Okay, how much is the admission fee in the Common App? Are we able to get a waiver? This is a good question. Please feel free to put down on the interest form. As soon as I get your name, I will upload it to my database. And when you apply, we're going to give you the application waiver. Okay, not only the application waiver, this is something like for you and me can be able to keep track. Okay, like what it is going on and all of that together. So we can be able to kind of like help you out. And as I mentioned, we also have brochure information sections coming out. You can see that I'm doing a lot of sessions coming in with U.S. Embassy in Philippines, or in maybe other international schools, or also at USF also do a virtual, like a workshops, how to prepare you and all of that. So this is maybe a good thing for you, a good resources for you to getting more information when you apply. Is there financial support regarding about the living situation there? USF doesn't offer you a financial aid unless you are permanent residents or green card or US or dual citizenship. But if you're international students, we love it. We only have a merit-based scholarship. When you talk about merit-based scholarship, you not only commit only 1 year, you have that for 4 years. So technically, we already generous, give you a lot of money already. However, a lot of international students, including with the Filipinos, want to work on campus. I'm talking about work on campus. So you can be able to work on campus too. You're allowed to work 20 hours per week at university, and then the minimum wage is about, say, $17 per hour. So this might be getting you some experiences and some pocket money, and also financial help a little bit as well. Okay, so thank you for that question. Cynthia from the Philippines, do we need a certificate of language proficiency for English or the transcript? Okay, likely, I know you guys study medium, you use English as a medium instructions anyway, so you don't have to keep asking the teacher. I know I saw a lot in the media in the past 2 years. It's a transcript. Usually when you apply on the Common App, you write down that when your home teacher or your counselor uploading the transcript, they usually upload the school profile. So likely I can be able to highlight to see. Again, this is from University of San Francisco. So don't take USF as the other standard of other university. They might have different admission. But because I have been working with Philippines for 3 or 4 years, so this is what I do. You don't need English proficiency at all, a certificate. Okay, so that's a good question. I am incoming grade 11 students. Do you accept early college applications? Likely you have to wait until you're the end of the year 11. Then you can apply. So likely you can apply for early action, as I mentioned. So when you are the end of 11, you start do the application, but you cannot submit. Our application will be open in August. So as soon as August coming in, you can go right ahead, but good prepare, but do not submit yet. Okay, so that is how it is. What is the World English Proficiency test? I already answered for the IB. So if, for example, you take IBSL or IBHR for that English Lit, I usually waive. Technically, I waive the English proficiency for you if you are taking the IB program or local schools in Philippines anyhow. Okay, so that it probably makes sense. How can we apply for scholarship? What should we do? Pay attention to your class. I already told you today, we base on your merit base, your academic interests. Academic performances. So do well, okay? And then get more serious. If you would love to take SAT as the other one to strengthen your application, go right ahead. So that is how you get your scholarship. You don't need to write the essay. You don't need to do anything. Just submit the application, complete it, and then the scholarship will be available for you. But it will depending the range between your grades and all of that. Okay. How are the facility in USF? Thank you. We have quite a lot. We are big campuses. We have gymnasium. We have a lot of campuses. We have a lot also libraries, faculty also work with you. We also have cafeterias and all of that. So our facilities are state of art. I will say that, especially with the computer science people. If you're computer science people like me, you have like a smart classes and all of that together. So our facility is quite well known. Okay. Also, USF is working toward to a Bachelor of Fine Arts. So likely we can start in the next year. So we also have facilities for the people who with the art also. Okay. We also have school engineering as well. So we have a Hive facilities or like 3D printer, everything like that on the campus. So you can be able to. I'm not providing 100% scholarship. I'm very sorry. The maximum one I did 50, but 50% for 4 years. Okay. So that would be the one, unless you do the athlete. So likely you have to be recruited by the athlete team, then you can get more percent of that one. Okay. But in the past of the 2 years, when I'm working with the Filipino students, they're likely to get some part of my merit-based scholarship, and they can find more external outside the scholarship combined together. We can do that also. Okay. If you have a questions regarding about external financial or scholarship, you can contact Education USA. They may give you a list. Okay. What major does the school specialize? We are liberal art university, so we have a variety of it. So don't go by our reputations. Our reputation is School of Nursing, School of Management, and also Computer Science program and Data Science programs. But don't go that. So follow your heart. Okay, you just if you felt like you're okay with it, just go right ahead. Okay, people can switching major. You can do one major or one minor, double major. You can do whatever you prefer. Okay, right. Do you consider a lot of international students in early actions, early decisions? We have quite few. I have a lot of early actions, but let's say early decisions, I will have about 3%, 4% of international students. Mostly will be American citizen. Oh, by the way, if you are American citizen, you are dual citizenships. And if you apply for University of San Francisco, I will be your admission counselor also. I'll still take care of you. So it depends on how early action would be. Some students will do the early action, but when I take a look at it, I look through your look through your transcript, you about, to get more scholarship and all of that. Sometimes I will talk to you and say, would you like to wait, or you would like me to go ahead and review those kind of stuff like that. Some people apply for early action and they have a good chance to get or hire their SAT, or they want to prepare better application, then it will be also a good place for you to do. Then likely I'm going to put them in the regular decisions also. Okay, is the application to admission would be the same with the scholarship? Yes. The application, it doesn't matter. The application, it doesn't matter which one you do, early actions, regular actions, we use the same method to provide you a scholarship by looking your academic performances. So likely you can say it very depends on your senior year. We don't wait until you complete your senior year. We just want to see you maybe a quarter, a first term of your senior year. If your grade is available, if your professor can, if your teacher or your homeroom teacher can give me some kind of like a mid-year report, that would be a good one as well, so that we can be able to do this one. Okay, I think I answered all the questions. Any other questions that coming in, or any questions coming to the Camp Philippines staff? Anything? I hope I can cover everything. Yes.
I think we're gonna wrap in a while since the session ends at 10. So if ever you can close the Q&A, and for your contacts, I think you're sharing it on the screen. So
yeah, my contact is here. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. All right. So hopefully our attendees can take note. And I also sent in the interest form of University of San Francisco in the chat. So if everyone can access that, please do so. So I'll be closing the session now, if that's all right. Miss Kritaya.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's okay. And then again, thanks again. I have been working with Camp Philippines. I think this is my 5th year so far. I know in the 3 years we did a virtual, but the previous year I see you in person. So I hope that, thank you again so you guys to continue mentoring all the new students and introduce to the new education world, to the Filipino student, the new generation. I very worship you guys. I think you guys have done a very good job, and also would love to send my best wishes to all the students. I'm not that far. I'm not based in the US. I'm based in Bangkok, Thailand. I know I'm 1 hour behind you, but if you have any questions, don't be shy. Please feel free. I would say use yourself as example. I'm your admission counselor. I'm the one who's gonna get to know you. So you ask in the right person already. Eventually, I will be the one at the end who kind of like helping you out in terms of your application. So I mean, many universities you can apply, they all good. Okay, I don't say that USF is the best. I would say like many universities have their own admission counselor or admission department to helping you in terms of your application, what things missing, and work with you closely. And thank for a situation in Manila. It's gonna be my 2nd trip this year to go to Manila next week. So I'm very excited. Thanks for everything so we can be able to see in person soon. So that's my best wishes. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Kitaya, for being here with us to tell us more about the University of San Francisco. So I will definitely be considering applying as I am an incoming high school senior, and I hope our attendees also feel the same way. So to everyone here, if you're interested in staying in touch and learning more about the University of San Francisco, go ahead and fill out the interest form here with your contact details, and we'll send over your information to Kritaya. So the link is in the chat again, and feel free to screenshot or take note of Kritaya's contact details as seen in the presentation. So that concludes our session for today. A big thank you once again to our speaker, Ms. Kritaya, and to all our attendees for joining us. Thank you so much for giving your time on this lovely evening, Wednesday evening. So the next college on call will be Northwestern University. So if you would like to tune in for that, please stay on the Zoom call. So yes, thank you again, Kitaya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. Today we're featuring an amazing university in our college fair. we are joined by a representative from Northwestern University who I am so excited for all of you to meet. First things first, thank you to our sponsors, the Princeton Review Philippines, AUG Student Services, LIMS Review Center, Study International Philippines, AIM Review Philippines, ICLA at Yamanashi Gakuin University, Queen's University, and Syracuse University. Now, I am honored to introduce today's speaker representing representing Northwestern University. They will be here with us for an hour to present about the academics, student life, and more of their university. After the presentation, they can also answer any and all questions you might have for them. To our attendees, if you have any questions at any point during the talk, please feel free to send them through the Q&A feature. I will also be linking an interest form in chat if you want your contact details to be forwarded to Northwestern University representatives. Just scroll down to the appropriate day and you should see their name and a link to the form. To our speakers, at the end of your information session, please feel free to scroll through the questions in the Q&A and answer those that you wish to. You can also ask a camp team member to ask the selected questions to you. With that, here's Kino Persal, Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Northwestern University. Kino, we're so excited that you're here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please feel free to tell us more about you and the university that you are presenting. With that, I give the floor to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Good evening to all of you guys. Good morning to me. It's only 9 a.m. over here in Chicago, Illinois, and I am here representing today Northwestern University. My name is Mamor Njai, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions here in the international team. I have been with the university for a little bit over a year now, working solely with the international team, with my other colleagues here, and I am very excited and happy to be presenting Northwestern to you guys as we're unable to travel for now. So it's another opportunity for me to connect with students from the Philippines and other parts of the world virtually. So like Maya said, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. My presentation might or might not take the full hour. I do not want it to take the full hour just because I want to answer as many questions as I can. So yes, let's go ahead and get started. I know that some of you might have heard of Northwestern University before, but just to go ahead and get started, Northwestern is located in Evanston, Illinois, but Evanston is also neighboring Chicago. So we have on this side a very, very vibrant campus, and on the other side, one of the biggest, or the third largest actually, city in the United States with 9.5 million neighbors. So that trifecta that you're looking for between an amazing campus, a very relaxing and chill city, and a big city such as Chicago is present here at Northwestern. Our students take the time to usually just, get on the shuttle, go all the way to downtown Chicago and just enjoy whatever they're doing over there, whether they're going for internship, whether they're going to check on some clinicals at the hospitals, whether they're going to just, grab a bite, go to a restaurant, or just go on the lakeshore and visit. Anything that you need for leisure, for academics, we can provide at Northwestern through Chicago, through Evanston, and of course through our amazing campus. So a vibrant campus, neighboring and large city in the United States. And who are we? Basically, Northwestern is one of the most diverse student population in the United States, actually, to my knowledge, because we have students from every single state in the United States represented, but also actually the number went up as far as number of countries represented. We are now over up to 105 nationalities represented, meaning that there's a high chance that sitting in your classroom or sitting in the library, that you're sitting right next to someone from Manila, someone from Bangkok, someone from, I don't know, Evanston, Chicago, or Europe, because we have those students that are coming from all parts of the world to get that Northwestern education. We are proud to use that as an anchor for our students to join us. We are diversity champions, and we keep working on that every single day at all fronts. Our classes are very small just because we want to encourage that discussion between classmates, that discussion between professors and students, and we want you to have the courage to sometimes get up and create a debating class, or talk to your professors, or meet them in office hours, or go to their office and say, hey, can we talk about this? And that's the reason why we have this very small student to faculty ratio of 6:1. At Northwestern, the first thing you'll hear is probably, well, if you heard about Northwestern prior, you probably hear about our quota system. The first thing that people will tell you about Northwestern is, hey, what is the quota system? We are not on a semester basis, we are on a quota basis, and we have up to 4 quarters in the year. One of them being optional. So let's say we have 3. So 3 academic terms that students will go between the fall, the winter, the spring, and then the summer will be optional. If some people will stay on campus and take classes, some students will probably be in Chicago having an internship, or in other states or cities. Some people will study abroad. So it's really up to them, but we do provide everything that they need when it comes to that flexibility. Every quarter, students usually take up to 4 courses per term, and then that kind of goes fast and gives you up to 12 courses per year. So that flexibility is what we offer to our students, to sometimes go very fast on one quarter, take about 4 classes, and then the next quarter do the same thing, maybe something different from what they were taking the previous quarter. And I'll go into it later, and hopefully I get questions about it as well. That flexibility is also explained that interdisciplinary aspect that we have here at Northwestern, where students get to study when it comes to whatever they want to study, their major, their minor, pick something that is different from what they applied as when they were coming into Northwestern. So let's say that you're coming in as an economics major, but you still want to take classes when it comes to music, you still want to take classes of French literature or something. You still have that opportunity. You still have time to say, okay, I want to explore this side of academics, I want to explore this other side. You have the ability to do that throughout the different quarters. You have support from your advisor who'll be there ready to help you making decisions when it comes to your quarters and academic schedule. So at Northwestern, we are divided into 6 schools, and the biggest and largest school being the Weinberg College of Arts and Sciences, which groups pretty much over half of our student population. Students can go into Weinberg. So when you're applying to Northwestern, you're applying to one school. You're picking one out of these 6 schools. Now, once you apply to the school, you can go undecided, you can go or pick another major that is present in that school, with the exception of the Medill School of Journalism, where the only major present over there is journalism. So Weinberg is the #1, not #1 in terms of ranking, but just the biggest in terms of student population, followed by the McCormick School of Engineering. We have the School of Communication, the School of Education and Social Policy, the Binnen School of Music, and last we have the Medill School of Journalism, Media, Integrated Marketing, and Communication. So again, to apply to Northwestern, you will pick one out of these schools, and from there, make a decision when it comes to the major you would like to study in. At Northwestern, we are a Tier 1 research institution, meaning that we foster research from our students, and there's a high chance that if you would like to get involved into research starting your first year, there's a possibility with our Office of Undergraduate Research, we can help you find something on campus or off campus. We are affiliated with so many professors that are amazing and recognized all around the world when it comes to research. We are affiliated with Nobel laureates. So we have the possibility to give you that experience, to put you in the same room as those amazing professors and pursue research with them. So we have over 90 school-based research centers. And since 2008, we've been providing so many research grants to our students, including Fulbright. So the opportunity is there. It's just yours to go and grab it. Same thing, I tell international students, whether you're from South Africa or you're from the Philippines, it doesn't mean that because you're studying in the United States that now you cannot just study abroad. I understand that studying in the US is study abroad, but why don't you take another opportunity and go somewhere else? So once you study in the US, talk also to the study abroad programs at Northwestern and say, hey, I would like to go visit this country, or I would like to go have an internship in this country, or I would like to go do research in this country, just for you to experience a new country at the same time, fulfill your academic or professional desires as you wish. Yeah. Innovation at Northwestern is something very integral to our system. We have over 100 innovation-based courses taught every year at Northwestern. I think one of my favorite places, and this is something I'm telling everybody when I'm done with this presentation, go on Google and just Google research something called the Garage. The Garage at Northwestern is this incubation center where students meet and work on their project. They are helped throughout the whole time they're there to work on a startup, how to raise money, how to get funding, how to present that pitch competitions and all that. And we are number 14 when it comes to, in the world actually, when it comes to universities that granted US patents. Our students get to start a project, bring it into reality, and then submit it as a US patent and keep the copyrights. That's an amazing opportunity for every single student at Northwestern. And you will be amazed if you watch the videos or go online and just research the Garage and see the different things our students are doing at Northwestern. All right, and then during your time at Northwestern, earlier I talked about internships and professional opportunities. Students will soon think about, hey, what am I going to do when I graduate? What am I going to do during my summer? Who's going to get me an internship? We have, of course, offices ready to help you with the right amount of support for you. But 2/3 of our actually undergraduate students have one or more internships offered. Top and amazing companies around the world, around the nation, are coming to Northwestern to recruit our students. And that is why 96% of the graduate students will have something secure when it comes to a post-college plan, 6 months at least after graduation. And jobs are available, internships are available, companies are coming to our campus. You just have to get the necessary help to fix your resume, get interview etiquette, how to ask questions, how to answer questions, and get yourself out there with your resume and try to get the best, I guess, opportunity available out there. So when it comes to our traditions, Northwestern University is known for many traditions. Right now, actually, if you go on YouTube and just type Northwestern The Rock, so you'll see that we have a YouTube channel for our rock, which is a rock that is covered with lots of paint. Students usually, or student organizations actually, when they would like to present an event or market an event, they would go and just guard the rock for a certain number of hours before they're able to paint it and put their message out there. So you'll see that the rock is a 24/7 camera that is on YouTube for students to watch what's happening on campus. My other favorite is the March Through the Arch. So the picture that you're seeing right now is a picture of March Through the Arch, where students actually, on their first day on campus, to kind of officialize the fact that they are Northwestern students, they get to work through the arch. So marching through that arch of Northwestern takes them straight into the university pretty much. So it's like their welcome thing. It's a tradition that every single student is doing on their first day. And then on their last day as graduate, they come out through the same arch to kind of make it official that they are now a Northwestern alumni. Other traditions are present. Feel free to ask questions, feel free to Google them. But Dillo Day is another large, the oldest student-ran festivals where students have musicians coming on campus. They're chilling on the lake shore by the lake. They're enjoying concerts, food. All libraries are closed. So it's an amazing opportunity for our students to just take a break sometimes, relax, forget about academics for at least one day before they get back to it. But I would recommend you Googling any of these traditions if they sound interesting to you. And you'll see that we do study, but we also know how to have fun. When it comes to the collaboration on campus, every single group, I think, or every single interest is represented and well represented at Northwestern, from sorority and fraternity life to a cappella groups to philanthropic groups to cultural groups. You'll find an international student association. You'll find an African Student Association that is part of the international student, but also have their own organization. You'll find so many international organization, cultural groups, where students are just ready and eager to share their culture, share their traditions to the Northwestern population. Multiple events being organized where they get to get in contact with the school community and say, hey, this is where we're from, this is what we do, and this is how you would like to introduce our culture to you. So again, do not be shy. You get to Northwestern, tell us who you are, bring your originality and show us where you come from and what you like to share with us. On that note, I would recommend going online if you have time and just Google Purple Preview. So Purple Preview is something that allows you to get in contact with people, with students on campus. If you would like to talk about someone with a specific major, you can fill out that form and they'll put you in contact with someone. Another opportunity that I actually am the director of is the Global Wildcats. So I would recommend going online and just, look for the Global Wildcats page. There's an email address you can contact and just pretty much tell them, hey, I'm international students, I'm from Philippines, I'm from this country. I would like to talk to someone from my country. I would like to talk to someone who is a biology major or an economic major or a music major, and they will put you in contact. Again, the name is Global Wildcats. And if you want me to write it down later, I can do so. When it comes to the application process at Northwestern, we have 2 decision rounds, one being early decision and the second one being regular decision. For early decision, the deadline will be November 1st, and for regular decision, the deadline will be January 3rd. One thing that students need to understand is that the first thing that we do when it comes to evaluating your application is to consider the context. We will not compare you with anybody from another country, a neighboring country, or the US or any other high school. The first thing we do is understand the context of your high school, the context of your country, the context of your curriculum, to know and be sure that we are making the right decision when it comes to evaluating your application. And then from there, we look at the different pieces of your application. The application essays, which is my favorite, where I tell students to be personal, be yourself, give us a story that allows us to build a profile, to understand who you really are. The application essay is an opportunity for you to tell us that you are a good fit for Northwestern, but also Northwestern is a great fit for you, right? It's something that goes, vice versa. We want you to tell us that This is what I know about Northwestern. This is what I'm bringing to Northwestern. And through that, we are able to say, we think that this person will be an amazing fit at Northwestern. So you have the opportunity to write a essay with a prompt. And on that essay, you'll go for paragraphs. And then you have the opportunity to write another smaller essay called the Why Northwestern. Why Northwestern is not something you just go on Google and type Northwestern and copy and paste and say, well, here it is, this is where I want to go to Northwestern. No, we want to see deeper than that. We want to understand that this person really have done their research, is really passionate about what we're offering here at Northwestern, and is ready to make a decision, right? And from there, we're able to say, okay, I think we have someone that is ready to join the Northwestern community. The second thing would be the letters of support, letters of recommendation from your counselors. Again, context. We understand that at some institutions, you might not have a high school counselor. In some parts of the world, we understand that some might have a high school counselor, but they might have a heavy caseload. We understand all of that. We want you to use your high school counselor, your school principal, the superintendent, whoever you think can really vouch for you at that level of orientation and say, hey, we want this person to write the letter, and make that person write the letter. And after that, your teacher, we want usually core professors. So someone from your English class, someone from your math class, and to write that letter. If you do not have that, we understand also the context. We will understand the context. So get someone as your mentor, someone who is running your internship or something like that. And then you have later the opportunity to explain why you did not submit a letter from this person, but rather from that other person. And we will understand. Your high school transcript. Your transcript allows us to understand how rigorous your high school career was, what kind of classes you have been taking, and are you ready to join Northwestern, right? We want to see a certain level of rigor, of challenge, and to see academically how you've challenged yourself by taking the highest level classes at your institution. It doesn't mean that you can go and just take all the IBs and all the AP classes because that's what's available out there. If it's not available at your school, you do not have to go and pay money and take those classes. We understand, again, the context of your high school. We have your high school profile. We are in communication with your counselors. So if we need something, we know who to reach out to. You do not have to go out of university and take college courses just to impress us. Stay in the cocoon, in that environment of your high school, and just challenge yourself based on what's out there. For this year, Northwestern will be, again, test optional, meaning that your SAT or your ACT are not required. Again, not required, meaning that whatever weight they used to have back in the past, back in the days, they're not holding that same weight anymore. Now, if you already took your test and you just have an amazing score and you really want to share that, no problem, we'll take it. If you feel like, I took this test, it took me time and effort, and I really, really want to talk about this, I really want to share my scores with them, feel free to do so. We'll look at it. And if you feel like it adds value to your application, we will not say no to receiving your scores. All right. And the first thing I would like to talk about is Northwestern financial aid. So we meet 100% of every admitted student's demonstrated need. What that means is that once we understand your estimated family contribution, whatever is your demonstrated need, we will cover 100% of it. Again, 100% of your students' demonstrated financial need. We will try to provide a package that is loan-free. We'll provide a package that is loan-free. And actually, it is not a surprise at Northwestern because 64% of undergraduate students do receive financial aid. So again, to help you with that as international students, the best thing to do is go on our website or just go on Google and type in Northwestern cost calculator or Northwestern My Intuition. When you submit that, you get to submit, of course, forums that will ask you questions, and once you fill that out, you have the opportunity to understand what's going on and how much will I have to pay if admitted. Sometimes again, if it's zero, we'll meet 100% if you are admitted to Northwestern. That was the last slide for me. To connect with us again, you can use our YouTube channel. You can meet us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. And also, again, the last thing is Google the Global Wildcast. Those are international students ready to answer your questions. Send them an email, and trust me, they'll be ready to answer all your questions. I'm happy to turn my camera off or stop sharing first, and take as many questions as possible.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. NJ. Question, would you like to go through the Q&A yourself, or would you like us to ask you the questions?
Sure. Oh, I think I see it. I guess I can, yes, I can go through it now. And so the first one was, how may we contact for questions? So the first thing to do, and actually I can share a link in the chat for everyone, so that depending on which part of the word you know who to contact. So give me 1 second. All right, so for all the international representative, you can just do this. There we go. And here's the link for everyone who would like to contact someone in our office. All right. Is there a limit to the number of clubs I can join at Northwestern? Can I start one? Yes. You can start a club, no worries, if it doesn't exist already at Northwestern. But trust me, there are a lot of clubs at Northwestern, and I'm sure you will find what you're looking for. So no, there's no limits in terms of the number of clubs you can join. Just make sure that your schedule can handle it between academics and clubs. But yes, there are as many that you want. All right. The next one will be, what is the minimum SAT and IB grades for Northwestern? There's no maximum, there's no minimum. SAT, again, we are test optional. If you want to submit it, fine, no problem. If you do not, you don't have to, it's not required. IB grades, we just want to see that you're taking the challenging IB classes and you're doing well. If you're doing well in your IB classes and you say, well, I have a 5 or 6 or 7, and that's enough for you, feel free ahead and go ahead and submit that. But there's no, high or lows, because that's not the only thing we're looking for when it comes to evaluating your application. There's the academic portion, but there are also other parts of the application. Yeah. All right. Is Northwestern need blind for international students when it comes to financial aid? So we are need aware for international students. We are need blind for US citizens and permanent residents. So if you're a US citizen or permanent resident, we are need blind, and we are need aware for international students. All right, another one is, how much would it be to stay in the dorm? So the first thing is that dorms are required for students to stay in there at least for the first 2 years. The price tag for Northwestern as of now, including academics and dorms and everything, is $80,000. $80,000 including everything. So room and board, tuitions, everything. Again, do not worry about the price tag. If you are admitted, and you submit the right form, Northwestern, for depending on your estimated family contribution, will cover 100% of your demonstrated need. Based on the forms that you submit, we can tell how much is your need to attend Northwestern, and we will cover 100% of it. All right, does the school offer on-campus jobs? Yes, students have the ability to work on campus. So depending on, of course, the kind of visa you're holding, the number of hours you are allowed by the US government to work as an international student. So for example, some students cannot go over 20 hours per week, but yes, jobs are available on campus, in the admissions office, in the international office, anywhere that you can think, the library, the kitchen, wherever you can think of. It's just as long as you're aware of the number of hours that you can work, so that you are not going past those hours and kind of getting yourself into some kind of legal trouble. What would a student's monthly living expenses look like? That's a good question. I think it really depends on the student that is applying, I think. So some students would have a pretty decent, lifestyle where they don't need to spend anything. And some students like to just buy coffee and donuts and eat out every day. Everything that you need is on the campus. Everything that you want is on the campus. So you can stay a whole week on the campus if you're living on the campus without spending any kind of money, because you're going to class, you're grabbing coffee from the residence halls, you're grabbing lunch, dinner, breakfast from the residence halls. You're going to study in the library. Everything that you need is here, to the point where you might not need to buy anything. And if you just want to relax, you go to the beach. So everything is here. Honestly, it depends as far as monthly expenses on what kind of lifestyle you're living. Yeah. All right. Do we ask for English proficiency test for admission? So yes, some students will submit the IELTS, some students will submit the TOEFL, depending on if your education is based in English, we can waive that requirement. But if your education is not in English, we will have to get English proficiency tests. So the TOEFL, the IELTS, and other, and those are the two that we take at Northwestern. Do we have pre-med courses? Yes, so students, we have pre-med classes. We can get you within pre-med advisors. If yes, what are these? It depends on what you're studying. So pre-med at Northwestern is a track. You get to pick the classes that kind of sound familiar with what you want to do and pick those classes. And then from there, meet with your advisor as far as, the different opportunity to take the MCAT or the practice exam to get into medical school, get into research, talk with our Northwestern School of Medicine and see if you can learn something from them. But it really depends on what you want to do, what you want to specialize in, the preparation that you'll get from our advisors, and yeah, but we do offer classes on a midterm, on a pre-med track. Do students live on an in-campus dorm? Yes, we have multiple residence halls on campus where students stay, and it's required for those students to stay here for at least their first 2 years. What does Northwestern look for on students? That is a great question. Northwestern, what are we looking for? We're looking for someone who's very well-rounded in terms of their profile, someone who's academically strong and ready to tackle the rigor of Northwestern, someone who is also very, I would say, eager to join a student population and be a member of a community. That is something we're looking for. and also someone who just wants to come here and take the best of the opportunities, you know, get an internship, get I don't know, opportunities that are available to them. So I think that will be what we're looking for at Northwestern, a well-rounded students in all areas. All right, next question. How about transferring to Northwestern from another college? We can still get funding. Yes, students, we have one round of transfer admissions, and yes, students can transfer to Northwestern and get financial aid as well. So of course they'll go through the transfer application, and they'll submit whatever they have to submit as far as they'll submit whatever they have to submit, whatever, you know, as far as paperwork and to show their needs and all that. And from there, they can see, or we can tell them how much they're getting. But yes, they can transfer from other universities. What is Northwestern specialty in regards to courses? Is it more STEM-based or liberal arts? It's everything. I would say it's liberal arts, just because we want you to just come in and take the opportunity to study and be well-rounded and take everything that you would like to study. But we have everything and anything that you want to study. So it's not focused on one thing. Like I said, we have the McCormick School of Engineering. We have the Bina School of Music. We have one of the greatest school of journalism in the nation or in the world. We have the Weinberg College of Arts and Sciences that has most of our student majors. So based on your research, you'll see that everything that you're looking for is offered at Northwestern. All right. What do you think is the most important part of our application? Any advice for hopeful future Wildcat? Thank you. That's a great question. I think the application is not complete or important until we gather or put all the pieces together. Of course, every single part is important. Now, I might have my favorite as someone reading the application, and I can say, I love the essays are my favorite, right? But I think there's not one piece that is more important than the other. It's just a way for us. What we're looking for is how do we actually put those pieces together to have a complete application. So that is the main thing we're looking for. And any advice for future Wildcat? My advice is respect the deadlines and stay in contact. Contact your regional admissions, be aware of virtual and in-person events if we travel to your country, and at the same time, be aware of all the deadlines when it comes to the forms you have to submit or the application itself. And hopefully we stay in contact, or you stay in contact with my colleague as a hopeful future Wildcat. What is the % chance for students who have high grades but have only a few extracurricular activities to get admitted to Northwestern universities? Again, remember I said earlier that the first thing that matters when it comes to us evaluating your application is context, meaning that we are aware of your high school, your country situation. We are aware of the number of opportunities that is offered to you as far as extracurricular activities. Students have been admitted to Northwestern with only one activity for 4 years and an amazing academic track, right? It really depends on what you've done. And you always have the opportunity to explain why you were not into such activity, why you wanted to focus only on academics, but that is not making you miss on anything as an applicant. So do not worry about that portion. Do you have need-based scholarships and merit-based scholarships? We do not have merit-based scholarships, and we meet 100% of all our students financial need. So whatever your need is will cover 100%, but we don't have any merit base unless you're applying to the School of Music or you're an athlete. There might have some other different ways that they provide scholarship to those students. What school within Northwestern has the highest acceptance rate? That is a question I will tell you right now. First, I don't have the numbers. And second, do not even try to play that game, that trick around your mind of saying, okay, if this one has, so I should go apply to this one. No, do not do that. Apply to what you want to study. That it doesn't work like that. So yes, and I'm unofficial. I don't have any official or unofficial numbers. Yeah. How would you rate your pre-med courses? How would you rate? They're one of the top in the country. I would like to just go on the website, look for pre-med courses, look for Northwestern School of Medicine, the hospital. You'll see amazing things happening there. All right. I can take a few more questions. How do you opt to not pass language proficiency tests? Again, it's based on your language of education. So if you guys are going, if the education language you use in the Philippines or whichever country you're calling from is in English, we can waive that. If not, you still have to provide language proficiency, such as the TOEFL or IELTS. If you don't have a lot of extracurricular activities, will it affect your application? As I said earlier, 1, 2, 15, 25, or 100 activities. It depends on the quality of it. And here's another advice I'm going to add before I finish. Do not underestimate any activity that you do. If you're helping your parents on a weekly basis in the house, if you're taking care of your siblings on a daily, weekly basis on campus, those are activities. We want to know about those things. Put them on your application. It's not because you just go somewhere and, I don't know, study or play soccer somewhere or football, basketball outside that. Those are the only activities. You have to understand what the concept of activity, extracurricular, and do not underestimate anything that you do outside of the classroom. I'll take 2 last questions. So if I'm admitted and my family is now willing, can't pay anything, would they cover all of the fees? It depends. If when you submitted your financial information, we said that, yes, you have a need, then yes, we'll cover whatever is on that need part. If we, based on your family contribution, we say that, no, your family can actually cover all of this, then they have to cover that. Again, early decision is a binding contract. Make sure you understand what that means. If you apply early decision and you get admitted, you have to come to Northwestern and drop any other application you've submitted at any other institutions. So make sure you understand that before making that decision. But if we say that we cover 100% of your need, we will cover 100% of it. Any part that is supposed to be covered by family will be covered by family, unfortunately. And the last question, what makes Northwestern computer science special? I think it's 2 things. It's the hands-on learning, the ability to connect with professionals in the field, from Google to Amazon to anywhere around the world. And the second thing is the ability to mix that with something else, computer science and econ, computer science and data science, computer science and psychology. I think those 2 things make our program very special. And you see students from all around the world coming to study that. If you're interested, I would recommend going on the website, chatting with a professor or someone, and hopefully they can help. Sorry guys, I have to run to another meeting, and I think 45 minutes was enough to answer all questions. I'll put in the chat all the link I have shared earlier for you guys to connect with myself, my team, and my colleagues. And hopefully we stay in contact. We are looking forward to connecting with you guys. Next, Tony, Godfrey, Maya, thank you very much, guys, for the invite. We really appreciate it. And whatever event we do, you guys will be aware of it. And if we happen to be in your country, we also will send out invitations to all of you guys. Thank you again. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Anjaya. Super sorry about earlier, by the way, totally my mistake. Again, that was Mr. Anjaya, Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at Northwestern University. Anyway, I'm sure I can speak for everyone here when I say we learned so much about Northwestern and are definitely going to consider it when applying abroad. Thank you so much for answering all of the questions and giving us such amazing advice. I'm sure I speak for so many students here who were really excited by this talk. To everyone here, if you're interested in staying in touch with and learning even more about Northwestern, go ahead and fill out their interest form here with your contact details and we'll send over your information to Northwestern. I'll put the link in chat and it's also in our camp link tree. Just scroll down to the appropriate day and find Northwestern's name. And that concludes our session for today. A big thank you to our speaker and all of our attendees for joining us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. The next college on the call will be the University of Ottawa. So if you'd like to stay for that, please stay on the Zoom call. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. I'll
Can you
start.
hear me? Nick?
Yes, you're audible. No
I
worries.
can't hear you.
Oh, is it a speaker?
Please.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Oh, I think it's good.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. Okay. Can you
All
hear
right.
me?
Yes. Yes, you're audible.
Perfect. Perfect. Good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. I'll start with my intro. All right. So, good evening, everyone. So, we're on our last session for tonight. So, thank you for taking the time to listen in to the next amazing university with us today for our 2022 college fair. So, first things first, we would like to thank our sponsors once again, the Princeton Review Philippines, AUG Student Services, LIMS Review Center, Study International Philippines, AIM Review Philippines, ICLA at Yamanashi Gakuen University, Queen's University, and Syracuse University. Now, I am delighted and honored to introduce today's speaker representing the University of Ottawa. They will be here with us for an hour to present about the academics, student life, and more about their university. So after the presentation, they will answer any questions that you may have for them. So to our attendees, if you have any questions at any point during the talk, do not hesitate to send these through the Q&A feature. I will also link an interest form in the chat if you want your contact details to be forwarded to the University of Ottawa. So just scroll down to the appropriate day and you should see their name and a link to a form. So to our speakers, at the end of the information session, please feel free to scroll through the questions in the Q&A feature and answer those that you wish to, or do let us know if you would like any of the camp representatives to facilitate the Q&A. So without further ado, I pass the mic to Jin Liang, representing the University of Ottawa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here, staying late with me. Greetings from Ottawa, Canada's capital. That's where I am right now. It's almost 11 a.m. in the morning for me, and I know it's late for you. So I will try my best to give you all the information you need to understand study in Canada, study in the University of Ottawa, one of the world top universities, and how that can benefit you in terms of scholarship opportunity, work opportunity, co-op, and so on. I know that today's session is limited. If you have further questions, feel free to contact the hoster, and we will try our best to communicate with you. Okay. So I'm going to start can you see my presentation all good? Okay. If any issue, please let me know. Okay, so University of Ottawa, and the picture you see is part of our campus. We're located in Canada's capital, the city of Ottawa. That's in the province of Ontario. It's on the east part, the same time zone as Toronto and New York City. Okay. So this is me. Hi. Okay. My name is Jin Liang. 20 years ago, I was one of the international students studying in Canada, and I later on I stayed and worked and immigrated to Canada, and now I'm a Canadian citizen. So if you have any question, I hope my experience can help you, and as well as your parents, feel free to contact me. Okay, today we're going to talk about the country and of course the COVID situation, the faculties, admission, scholarship, co-op opportunities, and why uOttawa is good for you, and then contact with us. Okay, the COVID situation right now is very good. Most of the restrictions have been lifted. People are traveling freely. We are over 90% of the people in Canada already fully vaccinated. It's very safe and good to travel. So Canada is a huge country. One of the best, the benefit Canada can provide you, it is one of the world's largest countries. And it covers from coast to coast There are three oceans: Pacific, Atlantic, and Arctic Ocean. And to the south, we have the longest border with the United States, where the Ottawa located is close to the state of New York. And the population-wise, Canada is known for its huge and wide land and not so packed population. And so you can imagine the per capita resources is very good. And you have lots of land and people, and also the safety and the quality of life is always ranked top in the world. And that's when you can see these provinces and territories across Canada. The location-wise, Ottawa International Airport is connected to many international and domestic destinations, and we're also close to the city of Montreal and also Toronto, and which further close to Europe and Asia. It's very convenient to travel, and we also have highways and trains connected to the major cities in Canada and United States. Okay, you can see we're about 200 kilometers from the city of Montreal. For those if you don't know, that's the capital city of the province of Quebec, and Quebec is a French-speaking province in Canada. And we know that Canada is a bilingual country, French and English, where Ottawa located at the border of the province of Ontario and Quebec. So you have a lot of, it's very culturally rich and diversified cultures and population. So here you can learn lots about Canadian history, culture, and of course arts and food, always too enjoyable. Okay, the capital of Canada, it's not a huge size metropolitan style. It is fourth largest city in Canada, and it's the best place to live by the quality of life index. And it has lots of sun over the year. In winter time, it goes. You can experience a true winter. You can skating on the lake. We have ski mountains. You can, if you're interested, you can learn how to ski, downhill ski, cross country ski, or snowshoeing if you're afraid of speed and height. And always something safe. Or you can always go with a sled and pulled by dogs and horses. That's a very unique Canadian experience. But in summertime, as you can see, today we're reaching plus 32 degrees Celsius. So it's also very hot. Around the city, we have rivers, beaches, water parks, and river cruise, many activities for you to enjoy. It's always not as packed as supersized big city like Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal. So the traffic in Ottawa is always in better situation. It's one of the best city to live in the world. Okay, this is our campus. Advantage for University of Ottawa is its location, as its name means a lot. We are the capital university, and the campus is only 20 minutes walk to the Parliament Hill, as you can see on this picture. They're labeled in green. That's the Parliament Hill, and that's the heart of the brain of Canada. And you can also see a river on the top of this picture. That's the Ottawa River. If you cross the river, that's the province of Quebec. So again, it's only 20-25 minutes walk to another province. Very cool. And that's a Francophone province. So University of Ottawa, yes, it's a bilingual university, English and French. It's also the world's largest bilingual university. But don't worry if you don't speak French, or if you speak French, if you don't speak English, that's totally fine. We're not mandatory. You don't have to be bilingual in this university. It's just as international student myself, originally my mother tongue is Mandarin Chinese. I learned English in Canada, and now I'm learning French. So it's a very good environment for you to learn language and culture, which is make you be very competitive, not only in Canada, and also around the world. And in the middle, you can see a canal. That's a smaller, not the river, that's called canal. And in wintertime, that become outdoor skating rink. So it's very fun to skate on the canal. Okay, this is our campus. We have 11 on-campus residents. If you're a new student, we'll guarantee you a spot to live on campus. So just you need to remember to apply once you got your offer of admission. Others, we have different buildings for business school, for law school. We also have a school of medicine. We have a hospital, many labs for you to enjoy the campus. So yeah, overall, the University of Ottawa is the largest bilingual university in the world. We are among the top 150 universities worldwide. And uOttawa is also a G7 Alliance university. What that means the decision makers in the G7 countries usually consult the research and the experts in these group of universities. So within Canada, uOttawa is also a member of the U15 group, which is the elite, the top university group that leading the national and international research policy in many fields. Well, we have over 44,000 students. Among them, 20% are international students from many, many different countries. As we know, Canada is also very welcoming country to new international students and immigrants. It offers one of the best opportunity to immigrant to work for international students, like the work study program, the work permit for student, and also work permit for graduates. So if you're interested, you can research more information from Immigration Canada website. But in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why I chose to study in Canada. It offers lots of opportunities. I think at any time, if you have option, that's the best. You don't want to leave yourself only with only one option. Okay, so that means no matter if you prefer to immigrate to Canada after you graduate, or you want to work in Canada for a while, maybe consider to study in another country. Lots of students, they choose to study in Europe or Australia or United States after they graduate. You can do that, or you can get a few years of experience and go back home to develop your home country. That's all possible. That's the best part I like about Canada. I give you all these options. And we also have over 10 faculties offering more than 500 programs in total from undergraduate to graduate. So you can see some numbers already mentioned. uOttawa is a world top 1% university, and also within Canada, it ranked number 7 in the top category, which is the doctor and research universities. So yeah, it's definitely really good for you. And the reason we achieve such high ranking, one of the reasons is we offer not only in-class education, we offer lots of co-op opportunities. What's co-op, which means you study for a year or 2 years, then you can apply to work in a real environment, a real company, real organization, or even in a government ministries. That's another advantage. We are in the capital region, so students have all kinds of opportunity. Ottawa is not only a political center, it's also a technology center, and knowledge-based companies took a big part of Ottawa's industry. So in this city, you have lots of opportunity to find a co-op opportunity, not only in Ottawa, but also we have hundreds of countries around the world that would offer these opportunities. Companies offer opportunities to our students. In generally, we have direct entry faculties, including arts, science, the School of Management, health sciences, and social science and engineering. Direct entry means these are the faculties you can enter right after you graduate from high school. Okay. And we also have graduate level faculties. These are like education, faculty of law, and medicine and other graduate studies faculties. These faculties in Canada, you need a university degree, a bachelor's degree before applying. So for the Faculty of Arts, you can see programs such as acting, music, theater arts, visual arts. If you're interested in languages, you can find lots of options here to study. And on the right bottom corner, you'll see each faculty, their co-op placement rate. You can see it's very high. And the business school is one of the best in Canada. We're triple crown the business school. Triple crown means there are 3 world top accreditation bodies for these business schools. And uOttawa has all 3 accredited. And there are only 2 in Canada are accredited, triple crown accredited. One of that is our Telfer School of Management. And you can see the employment rate is 95%, and the programs are including traditionally accounting, finance, human resources, and international management. And we also have a very unique opportunities to study in health field and technology field. Okay. This is the Faculty of Social Science, another very popular and largest faculty at uOttawa. Here you will find the programs in economics, political science, human relations, social sciences. It's number 4 for international development in Canada, and also very high co-op rate. The Faculty of Engineering is one of the most popular, but one of the most challenging faculty to get in for international students, because the popularity and the program itself, the quality. So it takes the top applicants. Student in general last year, our cutoff line for computer science is 95% from high school average. And also for engineering, it's over 85%. So you need to study hard. That doesn't mean it's always stay like that way. You need a minimum 75% to apply to University of Ottawa, which I will touch up later on. You can see here you learn data science, computer engineering, mechanical engineering, software. Okay. The Faculty of Science will prepare you for the future master's studies and PhDs if you want to become a university professor. This is also a very good program to study. Okay, biology, chemistry, environmental science, mathematics, physics. Okay. And the Faculty of Health Sciences is one of our smallest but fastest growing faculty at uOttawa. Here you will learn interesting programs such as food and nutrition science, health sciences, human kinetics, food science, and nursing. And I will talk about admission. So if you are interested in study at uOttawa, you will of course need to graduate from high school, and your average mark, the minimum is 75%. For popular programs, it's better to have at least 80% average to apply. And we have most of the programs start in September every year. Some of the programs do open in January and May. We also have a language program for some students if they need more English or French training. We're also working on designing scholarships for a student from Southeast Asia. The documents, usually we need your transcript. We need, if the first language is not English, we will need English test result, or because we're a bilingual university, for some of you, I know the number won't be big, but if you're interested in study or studied French before, same thing, same idea as English, we need your French language test result. To study at uOttawa compared with other university in the same category, uOttawa's tuition is very reasonable and comparable and competitive. Most of the programs, and you can see the tuition fees here and living costs. The living cost in Ottawa compared with Toronto is about 10%, 15% cheaper than living in big cities such as Toronto. Okay, the scholarship opportunity, you can apply to many scholarships, and I don't have all the information. We have a whole web page of scholarship information. How it works is you log into the you go to the web page and you see the scholarships and you see the requirements. As if you think you're qualified, and please feel free to submit an application. I mentioned, as we're speaking now, we're designing a scholarship for a student from Southeast Asia. So let's wait for more details. That's very exciting news. Also for graduate programs, we have graduate scholarships and teaching assistant fellowship that you can get more information later. We highly recommend, it doesn't matter which university, if they offer on-campus residence, I recommend you to take the on-campus residence, not just for uOttawa, and it does make your life a lot easier. Living off campus, it's also not a bad option, but you should wait until you know the environment, you know which area is safer than other parts, and you have some friends. Then you can consider to live on campus. Keep in mind, living on campus, the price may seem a little bit higher, but usually it includes lots of things such as internet, heating, air conditioning, and you can also enjoy the convenience of the location. You can visit the gym, you can visit a lab, library, many facilities on campus you can have access. That's very important. If you live off campus and far, and most of the time you probably don't want to travel back to use these facilities, and these are free for our students, and that's the time. It's a space for you. You can meet people, making friends. So take advantage of the on-campus living. It's going to be really, really good for you. Okay, so style-wise, the maximum we allow in per residence room is two beds per room, so you won't have 6 other roommates. Okay, and you can also choose. We also have single room options, have more privacy. Of course, the cost is higher than a double occupied room. Okay, so you can see some residence life. It's very convenient, very fun. We also take consideration when you apply, if you like the quieter floor, if you like your roommate from a similar program as you study, or if you prefer to have a roommate that speak English or French or bilingual, because in Canada we have lots of local students, they're fully bilingual, they can switch between English and French quickly. Yeah, so you can have, we respect all the interest and preference of our students, which are try to match, try our best to match, or if sometimes students, they know each other before they come. They want to live in the same residence, it's also possible. Yeah, food service is a very important topic. We have amazing food service, cafeterias, little bakeries, coffee shops around the campus. It's very convenient. We also take in consideration of our students' different food allergies, religion choices, even just healthy choices, halal food, vegetarian food, vegan, or meat lovers. You all can find the spot or restaurant or food booth for different options. Okay, this is lots of people interested in the co-op, right? So we are not only the reason we're good is we're top in Canada. We're the 5th largest co-op program in Canada in the whole country. To give the opportunity to our student to work. And the co-op, I forgot to mention, it's not for free. It's not volunteer. It's paid. You make a good salary from the co-op opportunity, and you can make 35,000 to 45,000 Canadian dollar for your whole co-op terms. Not bad, right? And the placement rate is almost close to 100%, which means you don't have to be super good student, like top, like 90% all in all courses. But at the same time, you understand we don't want to send less qualified students. So if you can maintain 80% or 75% average, and chances are really big that you can find a co-op placement. Yeah, like I mentioned, we connect with over 4,000 employers around the world. So there are many, many interesting positions for you to choose from. Another great thing is this is Kanata North. It's a district in Ottawa, about 20 minutes drive from our campus, really close by. This is, people call this the Silicon Valley of the North, where the mostly technology and innovation companies they're located. And they also one of the largest hosting body for our students, for them to do internship, co-op, and even students from all over Canada, they come here to do their internship. So another great thing for co-op and internship, it makes you very competitive. When you graduate, like other students, if they never worked during their 4 years of study and their work experience is 0. But if a student who participated in co-op or internship, you can imagine on your resume, you have accumulatively over a year of or even more work experience. Then when it comes to job hunting, it makes you very competitive. You work in the field, a real job. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you go, you always ask the co-op opportunities. Okay, if any university that they say they do not offer that, or very few, and you know the quality, right? Okay, and this is international exchange programs. We've been paused for over 2 years, but I think it's opening soon. That's you're not only study in Canada as an international student, we're also connected to the world. Many countries and universities around the world that you can choose to study. You can find more information later. And so where to study and hang out on campus, like I said, we have the middle one in the bottom row. That's where my office is. Okay, it's called Tabaret Hall. And we also have many other buildings. Some are more casual, some are more quiet, like quieter, more formal. Depends on your lifestyle, your preference. You always find a good place, comfortable place to study. And chatting with friends. And exercise, so sports services, it's very important in Canada. We value everything that your health is very important. You're not only studying, you also need to take care of your health. You see this is our women's soccer team. It's a world champion in the year 2019. We also have other sports such as ski, skating, ice hockey, soccer, football, swimming team, and many different options. You can see and also different clubs for both boys and girls. Okay. So ready to apply. We welcome you to apply. top students, I'm sure uOttawa won't let you disappointed. These are some steps you need to decide on the program, but don't worry about deciding on the program. You need to kind of decide on the program. It's totally fine to change program later on. It's very common that in Canada, even Canadian students, the program that they graduated from is different than they when they start university. So you need to decide on program, that's for sure, but don't feel like your life is on it. You cannot change it. It's not. It's totally possible to change your program after. Then you you make sure you meet the application deadline, and you need to confirm that you meet the admission requirement, and you need to gather all the documents, gather necessary letters of recommendations. It's optional for undergraduate applications. And if your first language is not English or French, you need to find out what language proficiency test that you're going to take, and you need to send us the result after. And then you will have a portal for you to upload your documents. Then you just wait for decision. Okay. A little bit information on the bilingualism. Our campus is an English-French campus. So again, you have lots of opportunity to make friends, to learn another language, but it's not mandatory. So don't be worried about the bilingual university. It's only good, nothing's stressful. Okay, here I know it's late. I want to leave more time for us to discuss. If you have any questions, and please feel free to ask. You can, okay, all right. You can type your question in the chat box and see some questions already. I'm going to read them and try my best to answer them. So the first one is, how competitive in admission are the science-related programs? And you can go to the webpage. I give you a very good idea on how what's the admission requirements. The general ones are I mentioned I mentioned before. You need to graduate from high school, and you need based on 100 score, you need to be minimum 75 for science, social science. But for like business school, engineering, you need to be minimum 80% average to apply. Do international students pay more tuition than regular local student in Canadian nationality? Yes, you're right. The international tuition fee is higher than Canadian domestic student. The reason is in Canada, the social system collects the taxpayers' money. So the student family and their parents, they've been working in Canada for the whole life. They're contributing to the education system. They pay tax to the federal and provincial government. So there's the provincial, there's the government subsidy to these students. But international students, the family never contributed in Canada before, and that's why the tuition is higher. So that's one the main reason. Okay. But after you there's good policies about it. Like I myself benefited from that. Let's say if you pay international, I was an international student. If you're an international student, you study and you graduate and you find a job in Canada. If you find a job in Canada, that means what? That means you will make a good salary. So average university undergraduate degree, bachelor's degree holder, when they graduate from the bachelor's undergraduate studies, and the entry salary is about 45,000 Canadian dollar to 70,000 Canadian dollar, depending on the programs. Then you need to start to pay income tax. You're as an international student, there's no tax refund, but international tuition fee you pay, there's the calculation that save you a credit with the government. Once you start to pay, you need to pay income tax, and the tax center will see your accumulated international tuition credit, they will deduct. So in a way, it benefit. In a way, there's a refund. But if you graduate and you leave the country, you cannot benefit from that. Okay. Can you give us the price range of food available on campus and near campus? You know, the best way is always cook your own food. Okay. So there are facilities, apartments with kitchen, and you can cook yourself. But let me see if I can find that page for you. Okay, here is more information. If you haven't you can take a screenshot or write it down. We have a meal plan. To live on campus in the first year, you need to be part of the meal plan. Yeah, but for example, if you taking McDonald's one meal, it's about $10. Okay, $12. Most of the students, it's hard to say they're taking double room. Oh, sorry, this is not about room. My mistakes. Most of students take a double major or minor? It's totally personal preference. It's even hard to say which one is better, but it's totally, you can do a major and a minor, a combined degree, or you can do a double degree. You can graduate from one degree and take another major. The credit you earn, because in Canadian university system is credit based, the credits you earned in one major may be applicable to a next one, the electives. So let's say you do a two 4-year degree, it doesn't mean you need to take 8 years to complete. So that's a really good thing about it. Are there any on-campus jobs? Of course, yes. We have lots of opportunity. Think about it. We have over 45,000 students on campus, cafeterias, gym, different student clubs, and different buildings, different faculty. There's lots of jobs for students to work on campus. And you know where we are located? It's the city center area of the city of Ottawa. So even within like 2-3 kilometers near the campus, lots of job opportunities. And Canadian government, in generally speaking, allows qualified international student to work on campus and off campus and co-op. So if you're interested in how international student, how many hours, how like the minimum wage, and you can go to Immigration Canada or just simply Google international student work in Canada. You will find lots of information, but be careful, don't go to the agent's website. You always need to check if it's from the Canadian .ca, that's the official website, and then to get the most accurate information, okay? Another question about SAT. We're not American University. We do not require SAT test, but we do require IELTS, TOEFL. The IELTS direct entry is 6.5 for direct entry, and writing is also 6.5. If you're lower than that, the minimum IELTS test we accept is 5.0, and writing is also 5.0, no lower than that. You can have a conditional admission. The student will have opportunity to study with our language center. Our language center is part of the university. It's not a third party or language school. It's a very high level, high quality language training program. Okay. Does the university have any religious affiliations? Yes, we have a different religion groups. We also have prayer rooms for different religions. You know, Canada compared with all the immigration, popular immigration destinies, and I travel a lot around the world. I think Canada is the most welcoming, most acceptable, inclusive country. Very, very good choice. So don't worry about anything. Okay. As a person interested in this university, what accommodations does uOttawa do international students struggling with living in a foreign country? Yeah, we have, my team is called International Market Development Team. We have a whole office of international student services team that they have student mentors, and mentors, of course, they have male and female, they have a different background, they speak different language. We have student mentors that are from they speak French, English, Chinese, Arabic, and we also have connections with student associations and also culture groups, not only within the university, also with the city of Ottawa. And you know, it's a capital city. We have lots of culture and country groups that we will put in contact with. So no need to worry. You feel like home as much as possible. How much would it be to stay in dormitory? Well, it depends. You can search uOttawa accommodation or residence, and you will find the information about the style, different buildings. We have some apartment like dormitory style. Some buildings are like apartment condo flat style. So it depends. The price I think is from $800 per month to few like $1,000 or $2,000 a month, depends on your choice, the location, single or double occupancy. It's all affect the cost. But again, keep in mind it's all inclusive. You don't need to pay electricity. You don't need to pay internet. You don't need to pay heating. Things like that it's a high cost. What separates your pre-med course from other Canadian school? What do you mean pre-med, like medical school? To give you an idea, Canadian medical schools, it's similar to United States. The system doesn't allow any high school graduate to apply. Medical school is not an undergraduate level school. This is a graduate level school. So the medical school entry requirements, you can apply. Some of the medical school, you can even have an arts degree to be able to apply. You can apply, but you will need to do some research on the medical school entry exam. That's the key. That's the most important part. So I think, generally speaking, if I'm a student interested in medical school, I will choose a program that related to the medical school at the undergraduate level, such as health sciences, nursing, or science in the medical field, like physics, chemistry, more towards the medical field to prepare myself, right? So there's no requirement that you have to go to a pre-medical school before you can apply to a medical school. There's no such requirement. Again, someone asking SAT, we do not require SAT. You do not to take a SAT. What we look at is your high school transcript. If your high school marks it's higher than 75% in Canadian standard. If you're interested, there are some conversion tools that you can use. One thing I know is called World Education Services. You can do some research to comparison, but yeah, high school transcript works. And 75%, 80%, 85%, and some program offer requires 90% and up to apply. Do you have need-based scholarship? Yeah, we have a merit-based scholarships. We do not have a need-based scholarships, but we are in the middle of developing a scholarship for Southeast Asia countries students. What type of student would find the most in uOttawa? That's a very good question. I think uOttawa offers very high quality, comprehensive experience for students who want to focus on study, who values foreign Canadian experience, culture, language, and there's no better place than the capital to study. Because in my feeling, I travel around the world because of my job. I found the super big cities are becoming similar and similar. There's no, the core value is it's changed. You don't see the real culture of this specific country because everybody is from everywhere. But Ottawa is the best place that represents the Canadian spirit, the English and French heritage. All the ministries, like the Ministry of National Defense, Economics, International Affairs. Here, you probably walk into Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the street, and you can have lots of opportunities to close to the heart, the decision makers, decision-making bodies of the whole country. There's no comparable like university in Canada that have this advantage for our students. And it's 2 hours driving to Montreal. Montreal is a very fun city. It's called the Little Paris for Canada. And there you'll experience completely different feeling, culture, music, food, which is makes your study life a lot more interesting. Okay, that's the advantage I see, and it also is within driving distance to like Boston, New York. It's all in this region, so your opportunity is unlimited. The weather, yes, it gets cold in winter time. It gets hot in summertime. We have winter and summer. Also, of course, spring and fall. The fall is the most beautiful season. Some of you may worry about the cold. I can assure you, my hometown, the coldest is -1 or 2. It's definitely not -20. Ottawa gets -20 or 1 day or 2 days -30. But you can imagine as a hot country, the air conditioning is everywhere, right? So in Canada, the heating system is very, very good. Even in the coldest winter time, any indoor or in your bus, in your apartment, in your classroom, library, you don't need to, it's same thing, just one shirt. So all you need is a very warm parka, like a big coat for you to go outside for a little bit. Winter is optional, and you don't worry about suffering, right? We have lots of people, we have lots of babies and young and old, and they all live in Canada. And if Canada is that cold and hard to survive, it won't be ranked as a world top livable countries, and the quality of life won't be that high, right? So no need to worry about that. But you do need some tips to live comfortably and enjoy. You don't want to wear, you need a winter boots in winter time to walk outside, you know, things like that. You don't want to wear your sandals in -20 outside. That's probably not very comfortable, okay? Okay, that's a good question. What's my favorite thing about the university? My favorite thing about uOttawa, because I worked at other universities before, so I can say I also visited many universities. The best thing I like uOttawa campus is where is the location and how inclusive the campus and the faculty, the staff, the students. You see a very good energy that people and the students, they study hard, they do their daily routine. They go to dance club, they go to sports, and they study hard. They go to library, and but you cross the street is Ottawa's best shopping mall. So in a lunch break, if you have a few hours, you just want to go walk or buy something. It's very convenient. And after the shopping mall, it's a market. So it's called Byward Market. If you're interested, you can search this online. It gives you the international food and shops. It's the most fun place to be. It's all walking distance. It will take you 15 minutes to walk there. And it's so location wise, you never get bored. Another best thing is very safe. It's very safe environment. I guess that's very important to study abroad. Safety first, right? So scholarship and financial aid are all available. I don't have, because there are many options. You can search this from our website, and there's a whole page about financial aid and scholarships, and you can take a browse. If you have more questions, please feel free to ask, to send us an email. You can find explore@uottawa.ca. That's a general email for sending questions, and the questions will get distributed to experts in that field, whether it's the faculty academic program question, or residence life, or international student support. It will get distributed to the right office to answer your question. Okay. Are there any majors that have the most international students? Of course, international student, it's a big investment. We want a program that can help us to find a meaningful job. We want the salary to be good. Some students, they just want a degree, they have a home business to take care of. So that's also good. So you can imagine the most popular programs are like engineering, computer science, computer engineering, data science, and of course, business, the accounting, human resources management, different management, and also at the graduate level, the master degrees, MBA are very popular. Okay. Do Canadians studying abroad pay the same tuition as Canadian citizens applying to Canadian secondary schools? Canadians, if you have a Canadian citizen and you're studying abroad, your admission requirement will be same as international students. Let's say if you study in Hong Kong, if you study in Philippines, the academic part is the same as any student from your school, from the country you're studying. But the tuition fee payment will be applicable. The Canadian tuition fee will be applicable to citizens. The application fee, there is an application fee, and this is called Ontario University Application Center. Let me see if I can, yeah. Okay, it's a website called Ontario University Application Center, and from there you will be able to find that's how to apply, and there is a fee that the application center charge. I think it's $130, something like that. All right. Do we have any more questions?
Sir Jin, hello.
Hello.
Hi, I have a question. One of the attendees messaged me to clarify with I think this was regarding the pre-med. How would you compare the pre-med undergraduate courses to other Canadian schools? So this would be like the health sciences course, the undergraduate, so not the medical schools. Yes.
Sorry, what's about the medical school?
They were referring to the undergraduate programs, so like health sciences course and others.
We don't call it pre-med because any program can be pre-med. The key is the medical school entry examination. So that's the important. So you can study music. You can still get into a medical school, but do you want to study music and really prepare for the medical school entry exam? Probably very hard, right? So the idea behind this is it is competitive. Not everyone interested in medical school can get admitted to medical school. So at the undergraduate level, you study something that can prepare you for the medical school, but I can also prepare you for graduate studies, or can lead you to a job. Because some students, they need to able to immigrate to find a job after their undergraduate studies, and at the same time prepare their medical school entry exam. So they can use that time. don't forget the key thing is, another thing is international student cannot apply. Even you have an undergraduate degree, the medical school requires give preference to Canadian permanent residents or citizens. So the path to Canadian medical school, the reason is very simple. It's not discrimination. It's because we need doctors. Canada need doctors. If international students study in medical school, it costs lots of it takes long time and money to study in medical school. And the medical school want the student to graduate and stay and to provide service to Canadian to stay in Canada, right? So the preference always give to Canadian citizen and permanent residents. So as an international student, I know you can say, oh, I want to stay in Canada, I don't mind, but the concept is that, so the path is you study in an undergraduate degree, you get your undergraduate degree. The best way is to find a path to get a permanent residence. The easiest way is to have a Canadian degree and to work in Canada to see which category you qualified and then apply to become a permanent resident. It will take anywhere from a few months to a few years. And currently speaking, the Canadian government gave a up to 3-year post-graduation work permit to international students. So you have 3 years, you can work and prepare anything in Canada after your undergraduate degree. So students will take advantage of this time to work and to get permanent residence and also prepare for medical school examination. Then once they're prepared on the exam and they receive the permanent residency, and they can apply to medical school. Okay. Application, there's no application fee waiver, unfortunately. Okay.
Surgeon, I have like one last question.
I know.
Because I'm very interested in applying to Canada and all that, and I wanted to know regarding like the diplomacy and international relations, like undergraduate degree in University of Ottawa. Like, how would you describe that and the internships and work opportunities that you can get with that degree?
Sorry, your question is about how to get a work internship and co-op?
Yes, and more about like the international relations and diplomacy undergraduate course, if that's offered.
Yes, we have that program. For more specific question to the program, you need to go to the faculty's website to see the requirement and program introduction, and also the courses that you need to take, because each major we have mandatory required courses and also electives. You can see what you want, what you are going to study with that major in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and if there's a co-op opportunity, when you apply, you will see co-op in the bracket. And that's the most popular options. And usually students choose to take the co-op option. And I recommend you, if you're qualified, any student, if there's co-op option, take it. It's really, really good for you. And usually if you're in the co-op stream, you do your study as normal. And usually after a year, you need to learn something before you go to work in the field, right? So after a year or 2, and you can apply. And the co-op office and the co-op coordinator in your faculty will help student matching the job for student in what major, to match the student, the major. And they give you as many options as possible. It's like to find a job. It's, you see, in a way, it's also train student how to find a job after, without the stress. So you are a student, there are job opportunities posted by these different companies, and you can say, oh, 2 in Ottawa, 1 in Toronto, another 3 in New York City. I think I want to go to Vancouver, and there's 1 in Vancouver. You apply, and you don't apply to one, right? Just like looking for a job, you apply to these co-op positions, and then there will be a selection process. There will be an interview a few interviews. It's very similar to a job. So a student are prepared for that. Then if you got a job, you go to the company to work.
Okay, thank you so much for answering all these questions, Mr. Jin, and for your
It's my
time.
pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you for staying with me late. I know
Thank
it's late.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So I
Okay.
think we're gonna wrap it up. I'll be saying the
Sure.
outro. So thank you so much again, Mr. Jin, for being here with us to tell us more about the University of Ottawa. As someone who is currently curating a college list with universities based in Canada, I will definitely be considering applying, and I hope our attendees will also feel the same way. So to everyone here, if you're interested in staying in touch and learning even more about the University of Ottawa, go ahead and fill out the interest form here with your contact details, and we'll send it over your information to Mr. Jin. So I've put it in the chat again. And that concludes our session for today. A big thank you once again to our speaker, Mr. Jin, and all our attendees for joining us. That's a wrap for day 3 of our college fair. Good night and rest well, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.